well, yeah, so you go and take care of the title. I'll do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D, campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party began their journey from Edict into the lower Underdark. On a mission from the mother with their goblinic bard raccoon's friend's life hanging in the balance. Their mission from the mother is simple. Head to the Underdark of the Ergos Republic and attempt to ascertain what has become of the shipping caravans that the mother has been sending through the area for reasons that she has not shared with you and the others. To escort you along the way, you have been given a guide of sorts who you are instructed to protect in exchange for his guidance to send you down the right path. Barry Road, a elven gentleman of somewhat down-to-earth and relatable personality, possessing the advanced technology of Edict, including a motorized vehicle that he seems incredibly proud and fond of. As the party heads into the Underdark, there seems to be no trouble on their path, aside from a small light steel mite infestation that has brought no harm, aside from making Morrigan and Gil glow bright multicolored neon colors. And as the party settled in for camp, with intent to have Lucian's new drone take the place of their usual watches, with Lucian and Gil hopping in to give them some backup in the latter half of the night once they have completed their elven meditation, the party questioned Mr. Rode a bit and discovered a bit more than they knew before about the Ergos Republic. Namely, that its leader, the young Mentha Ergos, has recently been making some unsavory for her people deals with Queen Lysandra Wyborn II. Land has been traded away, precious resources given with nothing in return, and there are multiple theories pervading through Yav about why this may be, but all they are for you all right now is simply that, theories. As you close in on the Republic of Thieves, with intent, if Mr. Rhodes' word is accurate, that you will arrive within their territory on your next day of travel by truck. And as you all settle in to camp for the night, Mr. Rhodes drops on all of you the information that the Ergos Republic seems to have a quite high dragon population. And with that dropped on all of you, is there anything you all would like to do before settling down for your long rest?
Well, DM, as per our discussion outside of the game, I would like to spend some time to soup up Morrigan just a bit.
All right. Any particular idea of what you'll be attempting to do?
Well, one, I'm going to be tinkering with that flamethrower to make it cool.
To make it cool.
To make it cool.
All right. And I'm assuming you've already deducted the cost we discussed?
Yes.
All right. So, with the parts you had already purchased in Edict prepared for such an occasion, you decide to spend the early parts of your rest tinkering a bit with your now brightly glowing mech. As Lucian's drone, at her command, takes to the air, floating around the cavern, being slightly followed and clouded by the light steel mites, creating this interesting, colorful spectacle that travels around the cavern, leaving a glow in its wake. Does anyone else have anything in mind they'd like to do?
Yeah. Hang on.
Well, while you decide on that real quick, Neon, just reviewing in my head real quick, how long will your upgrades take? Just so I know if you can still get a long rest while completing it or not.
Oh, God. An hour.
Okay, yeah, so you can do that while still getting a long rest, so.
Cool.
So you'll stay up for an hour. So if you want, you can. It'll be passively rather than actively, but you can take the first watch if you like, since you're going to be awake anyway. But you don't have to if you do not wish to.
Yeah.
All right. Noted. So since I can't see your character sheet on Beyond, what is your passive perception?
Passive perception is oh god, I believe it's 15 actually.
Okay, noted. Lucian, you said you had something in mind?
Sorry, my computer was being a dumb, Yeah. Okay, so
As it often is.
Yeah. So
Lucian is very tongue-tied tonight.
Just use Jeremy's mic if you need.
No, my computer. Yeah, can I use your mic? Okay. So for Lucian, she's gonna sit down and is there enough light to read?
Absolutely. The light steel mites are coating a third of your party members and your drone at this point. So yeah, there's more than enough light to read by it in the cavern at this point.
Okay, great. So I will use what little time I have to read.
All right.
And then when I get tired, I will go to sleep for my little 4 hours.
Okay, noted. If nobody else has anything. All right.
Well, Gil's going to take his 4 hours, and then he's going to go on watch looking for dragon.
All right. Yeah, don't worry. We have
so he's not going to leave the kit. He's not leaving the area to go look for the dragons. He's just going to keep an eye out.
Noted. All right. In that case, as everyone, sans Neon, settles in for sleep, Neon, you lay out your box of purchased parts and begin to tinker. To your excitement or dismay, you decide you find that the light steel mite goo does not seem to be dimming its glow or rubbing off anytime soon. You can clean it with some effort, but it takes a lot of work. And the glow has not dimmed and does not seem to be intent on dimming as you continue to finagle with the parts.
I don't want it to dim. I want it to stay glowy.
Noted. But you happily set to work, and unless your class ability forces you to make any kind of check, you are able to you are able to install the extra parts with minimal extraneous effort. It's a relatively routine design for you at this point. The flamethrower that the mother provided you with is functional, but you find yourself happier with your own design than hers. And with a few adjustments to some of the existing parts, you step back, and after about an hour's work, you're a little groggy, but and covered in grease and a little bit of light steel mite blood, but your work is solid, and the fresh parts combined with the paint job that the light steel mites have provided give Morgan a pretty nice sheen. You can almost swear she has that new mech smell.
That new mech smell, metal and probably oil.
It's about what you'd expect.
With a bit of leather interior.
Yeah.
And a pair of fuzzy dice hanging from the fucking dash.
Yeah, and you got your Polynesian leather on the inside for your chair.
Yeah.
But with that, you spare a glance to the drone that Lucien has patrolling the exiting tunnels of this cavern, and the light steel mites don't seem perturbed by any presences, nor does the drone, and your party members sleep soundly. So, with your work complete, you curl up for rest, however you choose to do so. And as the presumably night passes, you've all been underground for close to a week, about a week now, so it's anyone's guess as to what time it actually is. In fact, at this point, you're not even 100% sure it's only been a week. But regardless, your rest passes, and Lucien and Gil, after 4 hours of contemplative elvish meditation, you slowly awaken. And Lucien, you see your drone now thoroughly coated in light steel mites, and still being followed by an ever-growing cloud of the things, still patrolling the caves, and as it sees you awake, it stops and glances at you and gives you a hovering nod with a and continues to patrol.
All right. Let's tell it good work.
All right. And since the two of you are intent on making your own watches, unless there's anything different you'd like to do, you may both roll me separate perception checks, or one of you can roll with advantage.
Well, I was going to say, I was going to let Lucien just read her books, and I was going to take watch.
All right. Lucien, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. Lucien, hardly leaving your meditative position, you crack open the book you had been dipping into a little bit before going down for rest, and begin to pursue it once more. As Gil, you stand up and, stretching a little bit, start to just observe and guard the surrounding area. Make me a perception check.
24.
As you watch the exiting tunnel systems and the now aglow with light steel mite cave system ceiling, nothing immediately grabs you as different or concerning. You don't hear any particularly strange noises. Nothing in general catches you as suspicious. The tunnels are quiet, disturbed only by the very, very faint buzzing of the light steel mites and the little glows and spots they create on the surrounding tunnels.
Okay.
Eventually, the remaining hours of the rest pass, and you all begin to slowly awaken. And Gil, having been paying particular attention to your surroundings, you didn't pay it too much mind initially, but it catches you kind of by surprise as you see the party beginning to slowly rouse and awaken, that you see Barry beginning to awaken too. Despite seemingly being an elf, he should have awoken around the same time you and Lucien did, as he appeared to go to sleep when you all did. But you see him just stretching and waking up along with the rest of the party.
You like your sleep, don't you, Barry?
What can I say? I'm a bit of a heavy sleeper.
Sounds like someone's a gamer.
Fair enough.
All right. You guys ready to keep going?
I'll just climb in Morrigan. Just wordlessly. Let's just go. Let's just do it.
Yeah, I will grab my stuff and get and
Well,
I'll look at Caleb. Do you still want the front seat, Caleb?
Hold up, I can't hear what they're saying because like 3 people.
Yeah, you guys got to either pick a mic or remember to push. One of you has to push to talk.
Wow, do you echo and hear the echoes?
Yeah.
You said he accidentally pushed the button.
Okay.
I was trying to say to Caleb, do you still want the front seat, or is it okay if I take the front?
Caleb thinks about it. and just walks back to the front seat.
She shrugs.
He's
He's
learning.
learning from his brother.
Yeah,
He's learning.
yeah.
That's a proper Tebadron right there. All right.
He's gonna take the front seat, and he's gonna be like, "Yes, I think I'm fine with the front seat."
Hey, kid likes riding shotgun. No harm in that. And he kind of pats you on the shoulder, Lucien, before hopping into the driver's seat. Will you all be taking the same arrangements that you had taken on the previous trip?
Sure, Zephyr's just gonna get in the back
Yep,
seat.
I got the back seat. Oh, I got the very back.
I know.
Yeah, the cargo.
Zephyr will also get in the backpack and just start twiddling with his amulet.
I will spread out and read more of my book.
All right. And Neon, I will say, how fast is Morgan?
I think sprinting would be 60 feet, but I'll double check. No, sprinting would be 80 feet.
Okay. I will say that since you had been estimating and kind of clocking the speeds of the truck last time, you imagine if you try to keep pace in Morgan, unless you request that Barry slow down, the truck may peel ahead of you. You feel like you probably could catch up if you pushed Morgan to its absolute limits, but with how winding and maze-like the tunnels of the Underdark can be, you're confident you could catch up to them relatively quickly. You're just not confident you would know which way they went.
I will, upon realizing this, I will dejectedly, hanging my head, climb back out of Morgan, store her away, and just hanging my head, just like, oh, open the door.
Hey, it's all right, little dude. You can use your fancy machine once we get there. Like I said, I'm not planning to take you guys anywhere else once I've gotten paid.
I guess.
All right.
Just pouting.
We should be there in a few hours, so get comfy, everyone. And with that, as Neon hops finally into the back, he pulls on the stick, and the truck roars to life and begins to chug its way further down into the darkness. Once again, you're all left in relative.
I want to keep an eye out for game picture.
Make me a perception check.
Am I able to talk to the others, or is there like a window?
The window to the back cargo area can be easily opened, and Caleb is just in the front seat, so he'll obviously be able to hear you.
Okay. 21.
All right, noted. Real quick before I give the results on that, as Barry's truck pulls further down into the darkness, what are the rest of you doing?
Just kind of looking out the window, just kind of just letting my eyes glaze over.
I would like to.
How early did they get up?
You don't really have a way to estimate time down here, but you got up by your feeling, like basically by your gut, you'd say it's probably around noonish.
Caleb's just watching out the window then.
All right. And Lucy, what were you saying?
So I would like to open the window to the back.
All right. You all hear a very slight thunk as Lucien opens a small little port window. You can just see her face kind of framed in it as she peeks out into the back where Caro, Zephyr, Neon, and Gil are all sitting.
Hello. I have something to tell everybody, so I need everybody's attention.
I'm on pins and needles.
All right.
Well, it's not really your concern, no offense. It's really for us.
It's my concern while you're in my truck, princess.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, you're not the one who's going to be going up against the president, are you?
Depends. Do you plan on paying me?
Not necessarily.
Then probably not.
So no, it does not concern you.
He just kind of gives a shrug and continues to tunnel. You get the impression he's likely still listening anyway.
So Lucian will kind of like adjust herself because she thinks she's always right. I did get a chance to talk to my brother, and he warned me about the president. He said to not underestimate her and that she is very strong. So I'm not exactly sure what that means for us because, I mean, we saw what she could do.
Mm-hmm.
But his warning really seemed more like a don't bite off more than we can chew.
That first just honestly kind of ignoring her. I mean, listening but ignoring her, twiddling with his amulet.
Well, that just means that we should just kill her instead of trying to take her captive.
Well, I don't think that killing her is going to be... I don't think that's necessary, to be honest with you. Maybe perhaps we can change her mind.
Did you not listen what your brother told you then? He said, do not...
Yes, but he did not
her.
say that I couldn't try to change her mind. He never said those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's underestimating her. I'm trying to give her a lot of credit here. She seems misguided.
I don't know.
I mean, she seemed really chummy with Queen Wyborn.
We had a little conversation about this, did we not?
Yes. But what I'm trying to say is, instead of trying to kill her, let's try to do it diplomatically first.
Frankly, I don't care what happens to her, so...
Just let me talk to her. Let me see if I can't appeal to her.
And by that point, it might be too late.
Well, it's not like you guys won't be there.
Will we though?
Yeah, she'll have guards too.
I just don't think that we should go in there blindly. You know?
It won't be blind. One step
I
closer
don't
to dead.
want to kill her, Gil. I don't think that's the answer.
Then talk to her. Frankly, again, like I said, I don't care what happens to her. She is none of my concern, and what her conditions on life or on living or not is none of my concern. We have to kill her, so be it. If we...
Well, that's what I'm saying, is if we do this diplomatically first, and if it turns out that we have to defend ourselves, and we have to do things that I don't want to do, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have to happen. I just would prefer us to do it diplomatically first.
Fine. fine. But if she makes any wrong move, I will not hesitate.
What do you mean by that? Like, because like that's pretty like broad.
I think he means that if she takes a swing at you, he's going to swing at her just as hard, if not harder. He seems like a big guy, and she's a little girl.
She may be a little girl, but I do not think that she is a little girl. Do you know?
That is a completely nonsense statement you just said.
I agree.
What I mean is that I don't think that she is going untalented.
He gives a bit of a shrug. Well, it seems like you guys more or less are in agreement, or the bulk of you just don't seem to care. Try and do it diplomatically, and if she turns on you, then kill her.
Sounds good to me.
I can live with that. I can at least say that I tried.
He gives a bit of a nod and continues you guys' path down into the darkness. Neon, continuing to watch out the window. Gil, keeping a careful eye and ear in the darkness as much as you can over the rumbling and bumbling of your vehicle travel down. Lucian, returning to your books in the back seat. Caleb, Caro, and Zephyr, what are the three of you doing, if anything?
So just sitting there looking out the window.
Just how light is it in here?
At this point, you are all in pretty much pitch blackness. The only light you're getting is the headlamps of the truck and the very occasional cloud of light steel mites that you pass in the tunnels. There is still some glow coming off of Gil's tattoos from his previous bathing in light steel mite blood, but beyond that and the occasional bit of it smeared on equipment and armor, very little light is entering the tunnel. And the back of the truck, if it weren't for Gil's tattoos, would pretty much be pitch black.
Caro in the kind of pitch darkness and also vibration of the car just kind of starts falling asleep.
All right. And Zephyr, what are you doing?
I guess he'll just get out his whisper and just kind of give it a good once over. You know, why not?
Those of you who can see in the dark, and again, even for those who can't, Gil's tattoos are providing some glow. See Zephyr pull the parasol he had acquired, painted now with pitch black with a blood red.
Parasol's like an umbrella, right?
Basically, yeah, just one of those like kind of round ones.
Very small,
like
super small.
Caleb is like, I don't think we're going to expect rain down here.
You'd be surprised, kid.
How could it rain? We're underground.
Without looking up, I could say I could make it rain.
She can make it rain.
Please do. I'm so poor.
And Zephyr, looking over your whisper, the parasol's paint has long since set in. The blood red cobalt emblem on the front emblazoned proudly, and sticking out from the front is the handle, which you of course now know conceals a blade. It's lightweight. The material is tough and protective. Is there anything in particular you'd like to do, or are you just kind of examining it to pass the time?
Yeah, you just passing the time, looking at it, just like.
All right. As Zephyr, you get more comfortable with your newly acquired parasol. Neon and Caleb, the two of you watch out your respective viewing areas calmly and preparing. Lucian, nose deep in your books. Caro, sleeping soundly with Garrow curled at your feet. And Gil, watching carefully the surrounding tunnels. Nothing seems to deeply change. You are noticing, though, the further down you go, less and less and less presence of creatures. You had seen, of course, the light steel mite clouds and the occasional ahul, but the deeper down you go, the less common those sights become until they eventually cease altogether, leaving you truly now in darkness as you drive. But Barry does not stop, and the hours of the day pass slowly. As conversation dies down, Barry, seeming intent on lightening the mood, turns a knob on his dashboard, and the truck is filled with the same sort of disco, like catchy poppy music that you all had heard on the streets of Edict. And it's not necessarily music most of you have been exposed to, but it's listenable, and it's certainly better than the silence.
I jump at least 5 feet. Like, I jump a little bit as he turns it on, because, like, I'm so focused on my book.
Sorry, miss. Just thought we could do with some ambience.
This is not ambience. This is noise.
Oh, here we go.
Surface dwellers.
I agree.
Ambience is more like, piano, or a violin, or like a lute.
Neon. You can hear Neon from the backseat go.
And
I don't know how well that came over the mic.
No. Yeah, I came in fine. And yeah, you can see Caleb in the front seat. You can see Barry just break out in a wide smirk. But he doesn't respond and simply cranks the music up a little bit louder.
I beg your pardon, but piano is very beautiful.
Boo.
Oh, well.
My truck, my music.
Okay. Whatever. I'm going to try to, ignore it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, it's not deafening. It's more just filling the silence of the vehicle.
Sorry, it was hard to hear you from up on your high horse.
And Gil is just gonna vibe to the music as he keeps an eye out.
All right.
At least someone here has taste.
Eventually, as the hours pass, Barry begins to slow the truck down gradually. And Caro, your nodding off is kind of jostled slightly as you kind of bump Zephyr lightly as the truck starts to pull to a stop. And Barry turns to look over all of you in the truck. We're getting close. You guys good?
Eh.
Yeah, let's do it.
As good as
I'll
well
close
be.
my book.
All right. And with that, he opens the front door of the truck and carefully steps out. And you can all see as he steps out, he immediately has his laser pistol to bear and zips up his bomber jacket, seeming determined to force it to give him whatever protection it's capable of providing.
You are gonna protect my vitals, and you are gonna like it.
All right. If we're planning to investigate, like we were sent here to, I think it's best we slug it from here on foot. I'll lock the truck behind us, and anything we find, we can cart back, and I'll take it from there. You guys are on your own from that point on. We square?
Matthew, how big is the area that we're in right now?
Neon, are you willing to step out from the back of the truck?
Maybe just a little.
All right. In that case, those of you who are on Roll20, I will shift us over to a dungeon map.
Ooh.
I heard you say like roll 20. I was like, wait, what? Battle already? What the fuck? You're tripping.
No,
Neon.
I was going to say, I would also like to make sure nobody's forgetting anything in the truck.
Sure thing.
Hold on. Something's not right here. There you
What's
go.
up?
We're good.
What was wrong?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, just tell me about it after. Neon, as you're the first to step out of the truck alongside Barry and kind of waddle with your short height to keep pace with him. Yeah. I just figured out what you did. Neon, looking around, you see that you're in, rather than a clearing, you see that Barry's headlamps are currently just widely lighting up a dismal, dead-end cavern wall. But as you step to the front of the truck and look to your right and to your left, you see two stone, rocky tunnels, dismal and dark, heading in either opposite direction. Barry gives the area a once over, and pulls his goggles down over his red eyes. But beyond that, says nothing, just keeping his hand on his pistol as he examines the surrounding area. What are the rest of you doing?
As I said, I'm making sure nobody forgets anything inside the car. Remembering what he said about if it's left behind, it's his.
Yep. So I'll assume you'll be getting out last then. Kara, what are you doing?
Fully waking up and taking a step out to examine our surroundings.
Okay. Caleb, up front. You all pretty much can see the same thing that Neon saw, just from your various positions around the truck. So, Caleb, anything in particular you would like to do?
Caleb's just kind of sticking with the group for now, you know, seeing where everybody else is going.
Yeah.
All right.
How high is the ceiling?
Zephyr, looking up, make me I'll call this an investigation check. See if you can get a good guesstimate on this. And while you're rolling that, Lucian, what are you doing as the last one sans Gil to leave the truck?
I'm just gonna grab my books and then from under my shirt, I'm gonna make sure that my my necklace is presented itself. So Shiva's symbol is now hanging out, invisible.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then I will exit the truck with my stuff.
All right, and Gil giving a once-over as everyone else slowly steps out, weapons and accoutrement ready to bear. Zephyr curiously examining the walls as Neon stands with Barry at the front of the truck. Seems like nobody has left anything behind. And Barry nods to you and gives another press on the small device in his hand as you shut the last door, and the car gives a and the headlamps dim before finally shutting off, sealing you all in darkness. However, do not fret. For those who without dark vision, there is still some light coming off of Gil's tattoos. So there is still some light, just not the amount that would be granted with dark vision.
There's some light, just not sunlight.
And Zephyr, what'd you roll for your check?
18.
All right, with an 18. Looking up, it's hard to accurately guess, but you would estimate this particular tunnel's walls to be about 40 feet high to get up to the ceiling. As you all step out and gather around, Barry taps his fingers on his laser as he turns to all of you. Right. You guys are the experts on stuff like this. I've been here and there, but the trade caravan definitely passed through here, but Mother was mum as to which route they take. So, and he gestures to the left and right paths. We gonna call this one a coin toss, or do you guys have some kind of mojo to figure out which way to go?
Could I possibly look at the dirt and figure out if there's any tracks or...
Make a survival check.
Cool.
And Caro, since you said you were going to observe your surroundings, make me a perception check.
Okay. Big ol' can. Those are my DM
Yeah,
dice.
Gil's stretching at this point.
Okay, I got an 18.
All right, and Caro for your survival?
I'm sorry, I got the wrong dice.
So do you have a link for the Roll20?
Oh, yeah, here, I got you. Austin's streaming, so yeah, I'll get you. I got you covered. Yeah, if you can send it to him without disrupting the stream or anything, that'd be good.
Just copy and paste. I mean,
All right, yeah. So yeah, just send it his way then. Yeah, so, okay, I got Lucian's in mind. Just, Carol, let me know what your survival is. Or, perception, I mean, sorry.
Survival I would do well on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, perception.
Unfortunately, I only got a 7 on this.
All right, 7 total or 7 with modifiers?
7 total. Or with modifiers, yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay. Caro, looking around, it's dark and hard to see a whole lot, even with dark vision. It's just darkness and rocks in either direction as far as you can see. Lucian, looking down at the tracks, or rather at the surrounding area, you see a variety of things. You see small trails eaten into the stonework, which you estimate were done by subterranean insects of some kind. You can see small smudges of what you pray is anything but blood. There does not necessarily immediately appear to be conventional tracks, as remember, this is far underground and it's mostly like rock down here, so you don't imagine that there would be much in the way of traditional tracks, unless something were to pass through here so consistently as to form a rut even in solid rock. But as you investigate just on hands and knees both paths, it seems like the rightmost path is more frequently traveled. While there's no tracks, you do see that the rock is somewhat looser and more gravelly, as if it's disturbed more frequently and not able to properly set in.
I'll get up and I'll dust myself off. And I'll look to the others. I'm not expert like Caro, but this one seems to be like, I guess, more traveled? What do you think, Caro?
so we go the other way.
Do I also make like a check?
Yeah, sure. Make me a survival check. I'll give you advantage since Lucian already kind of pointed you in the right direction.
21.
Oh, nice. You take your time to examine the ground more specifically than just gazing off into the tunnels. And sure enough, with some investigation, you come to a similar conclusion to Lucian. The road, or rather just path to the right, seems more frequently traveled, and thus is most likely the way the caravan went. At least that seems like a reasonable conclusion. I will also add that with your survival and more expertise on the matter, you're able to tell that while you don't know the species, as again you are not intimately familiar with the Underdark, you do know that the small trails that seem to have been sort of eaten into the ground are definitely the works of some kind of some. And as for that, I think there should be an option to just
if you go to settings, you just
just settings on the top right, and master music volume level. Looking to your right, looking at the small paths carved by something small on the ground. While you don't know the exact species, you can confidently say that it was likely a slug of some kind that dug these trails. Although there does not appear to be any slime or refuse left behind by these creatures. Basically little trails dug into the rock, which Lucian spotted and Kara was able to identify as likely being formed by some kind of slug-like creature, just from the way they're made, but does not know the exact species as they are not intimately experienced with the Underdark. Beyond that, though, Kara, your judgment seems...
I think we should go to the left. Barry kind of raises an eyebrow and looks to Caro as they get up from examining the tracks. It seems like these people trust your judgment on tracking. What's your thoughts?
Well, I suppose following the giant slug would not be bad.
I'll say for the record, it is not giant tracks. It's basically slug-sized tracks. Just like you can tell it was some kind of slug-like creature.
Okay.
Again, there's
regular slug.
Yeah. So you agree with heading left then?
Well, is that the way that the
I
tracks
thought they were
go?
going right.
I thought you said you were first going right.
Yeah, so here, just to reiterate, and I'll say, Caro, he was addressing you when he asked that question. Caro and Lucian both found, while it's not tracks, there is some like signs of travel to the right tunnel and none to the left. Or if there is, it's not enough to cause those same disturbances. However, also going right, Caro and Lucian both spotted small, like, just little divots in the rock, which Caro was able to identify as being formed by some kind of slug, although does not know the exact nature of the species, as they do not know the Underdark super well.
I propose that we go to the right. What do you think, Carol?
Yes. I
think we're going the wrong way, but okay.
What makes you think that we are going the wrong way, Gil?
Because if I was transporting a bunch of stuff, I'd go the way that's less traveled. Especially if I want to get seen.
For those people.
Yes, but these people work for the mother. They would want to be inconspicuous.
Not necessarily.
Really?
What do you think, Barry? You work for?
I've only been working.
Think most of her associates would say.
I've only been working for about as long as you guys have, if not shorter. But and he kind of looks to the right and looks to the left. Taking the road less traveled is not always ideal. Even if we found what we were looking for, we'd probably also find trouble. Worst case scenario, if we go down the right and end up going too far, we can always turn back and go the other way. But if there's nobody traveling that way, and he gestures to the left, you might want to consider that there may be a reason they're not going that way and choosing to go the opposite direction. Being inconspicuous won't do them any good if they're dead.
Fair enough. Right it is.
Caro, since you are the most experienced here with tracking and, this whole Ding. Do you want to come up here with me?
She gestures to Garrow to follow her.
All right, so Lucian, Caro, and Garrow will be up front. Who wants to march behind them? We'll establish the marching order here.
I'll follow right behind him.
All right.
And I'll take up the back.
Zephyr, are you okay with that?
With your crooked picture.
How it should be.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Gil, for now, kind of, I guess since Gil wants to be in the back, we'll go over to the side. But,
I like how you have the tank in the back.
Yeah, and the spellcaster and ranger in the front.
perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
as they should be.
Perfect. But,
Alright.
Where's your guy, Matthew?
We'll get there, don't worry.
Is he gonna split it the first sign of trouble?
Sounds like
Maybe he is the trouble.
but,
He is a trouble. He's going to be the
You're
one
making like ghost sounds,
turns
like
the
we're
party.
playing Phasmophobia up in this shit.
yeah, I could, no, hold on, I could do that, but, you know.
Austin.
What is he doing?
My
Yeah,
voice mod.
he's gonna mess with his voice mod thing. All right. In that case,
I didn't have it
Lucian,
on.
Caro.
I mean, it's his stream.
This is a group stream. He has his own channel. So that's Lucian, Caro, and Garrow up front. Zephyr, Caleb, and Neon in the middle, and Gil at the very back, keeping watch. And I will say, Gil, as everyone forms up and starts to head down the tunnel, you see Barry kind of glance at his truck and glance back to your group, starting to head down the tunnel and back to the truck again before he kind of has an inner debate with himself before calling up ahead to all of you. I think I should stay here and make sure nothing down here touches Mother's cargo. You guys just report back if you find anything. Sound good?
Sure.
That sounds good to me. That sounds
Sure.
good.
All right. He gives a thumbs up and
Don't be an arse.
he gives a thumbs up and a cheery smile, and with that immediately hops back into his truck. And the last thing you guys hear as you start to make your way down the darkness is very distant disco music playing from inside the truck.
Well, the good news is we know what to listen for.
Yeah.
How did you move the whole group?
You can do like if you do.
Yeah, I can select everyone.
Yeah, if you.
They're all set now, though. They don't line up perfectly with the grid.
What? Oh, that's just the app thing.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot to be done about that. Dungeon battle
I
maps are already
hate it.
hard enough. Dungeon maps are already hard enough to do, or battle maps. I mean, battle maps are already hard enough to do. Dungeon maps are even harder. You guys begin to make your way down and down into the depths. It's hard to know exactly if you're going further up, further down. There's not exactly any visual to go on, but with time, you are able to see a further ahead split in the path. If I can get the revealer to do its job here, just a second.
See less.
Working on it. I'm trying to reveal areas, please. There we go. As you guys make your way down the
Oh my
right,
god, there's a sofa.
as you guys make your way further down the tunnels, you see a path heading to the left, and ahead of you a set of stairs that appear to travel down into a deep and, even by the darkness of the tunnel, incredibly dark cavern. You can't see what's down the stairs at a glance,
nor can you immediately see what's down the leftward tunnel, but you come to this split in your path.
I turn to Carol. Do you want to look together or do you want to look separately?
Let's stick together in this place.
Okay, I will give Carol advantage. So
What are we doing?
I will
Yeah.
assist
Caro's scouting.
I will assist Caro in looking
taking-
for tracks.
Taking the help back.
This is still survival, yeah?
This will. So, are you looking for tracks or just looking for like whatever?
Do you think that we should be looking for footprints or like cart prints? What do you think?
I don't know. We should probably look for any sign that they're around here.
Oh crap.
That's true. So we will look for any signs of travel, footprints or cart or, whatever.
Caro, make me a survival check with advantage. And as the two of you, with Tiger in tow, go a bit ahead to investigate.
Apparently Caleb and Zephyr keep bumping into each other.
Yeah, I was about to flavor that.
My advantage is really useful. Both rolls were the same.
I was just
Zephyr.
going to say Caleb is being ADHD.
Yeah, Zephyr, you lean against the wall with whisper in hand, and as Caleb kind of nervously like fidgets as Lucian and Kara walk off into the darkness, and Neon, Caleb actually full on bumps you at one point and bumps into you as well, Zephyr, before
Caleb is being a little ADHD child.
And Zephyr, as you kind of just scuttle ahead to keep pace with the others, Neon and Gil, you're left with an incredibly, like, constantly moving Caleb. Whether it's nerves or excitement of some kind, you can't really tell.
I like this.
Kara, what was your roll?
Caleb's just gonna go
18.
chasing after them now. He's tired of
All right.
waiting.
All right. Lucy and Kara, as the two of you start scouting ahead, the scouting ahead is immediately rendered somewhat moot, as both Tepedran boys immediately catch up and keep pace with you. But
I love how Matthew flavored my fidgeting with my character.
Caro, as you and Lucian look,
We're
the
the sneaky boys. We can scout too.
the disturbances on the ground appear to persist going in the tunnel directly ahead of you where the stairs aren't. But, Caro, out of just simple curiosity, do you have dark vision?
No.
Caro, you start to kind of head towards the stairs, just almost just sort of curious what might be down them. Not full on diving down, but just like taking a peek. And Lucian, as you kind of glance over, as an elf, you of course have dark vision, and you see Caro does not seem to realize it themselves, but they are about to walk off a set of stairs that quickly cease to be a set of stairs and disappear down into darkness. But you do have a chance to grab them before they plummet to their death.
Roll
I just grab
1,000
Caro.
D20.
Could I just like grab Caro and just like bring her into a hug?
Absolutely.
And I just pat her on the back.
Kuro happily accepts this hug.
And
Big ol' squeeze.
Caro, as Lucian hugs you and you're kind of confused, you look down and see one of your feet hovering over where you would expect there to be a step, but there is very much not.
Ah,
We don't want you falling now, do we?
no.
There's a pit.
There is a pit indeed.
Where is it? Is it like it's like right here?
No, it's here. Let me over this way down the stairs.
Yeah, I think it's me. The stairs just kind of end.
Oh, the stairs go down and then they just end.
Yeah, they just end. And Lucian, by your estimate, the pit looks bottomless, far exceeding the limits of your dark vision.
Well, I'm glad I caught you.
Oh, Caleb doesn't have dark vision, so
But they'll do have sources of light. But
I'll shimmy Caro to the side and point to where I saw the other tracks.
Yep, and Kara, you saw the again less tracks and more just signs of activity heading further down the stone tunnel opposite the stairs. And Gil, as you turn, you see that you are now alone in the staying back party as Neon putters on ahead to keep pace with the group as well. I like how this group can't stand each other, but also refuses to be apart for like 5 minutes.
Because it's like there's
numbers. Well, I don't think the group can't stand each other. It's this guy and this one who can't stand each other.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Zephyr was one of the first to just rejoin the group, which consisted of 50% Lucian, unless you count Garrow. Gil, what were you
I
saying?
think Garrow counts. Are you saying Garrow is not a person?
I was saying
Garrow is a tiger, actually.
You're being specious.
Gil, what are you doing?
well,
Don't dodge the
noticing that I'm
question.
now alone because y'all don't know how scouting works. Apparently, I will go up to the rest of the group.
Hey, they scouted like
And I will.
20 feet ahead.
Do I see this pit?
Yeah, you have dark vision. You can see the pit.
I want to light my torch and drop it in.
All
I want
right.
to see how deep this pit goes.
Caleb's gonna get near to watch it.
All right. Gil, as you approach and start lighting a torch, Caleb, you excitedly step forward and very cautiously step on the stairs, careful to watch your footing. And Zephyr, you were already just standing and
collapse. We lose like half the party.
and gazing down into the pit as you hear Gil and Caleb approaching. And Gil, you light a torch and drop. Deduct 1 torch from your inventory for the time being. And as you all watch the lit torch drop, it falls, illuminating these slick, incredibly damp cave walls, and falls, and falls, and falls, before the tiny, tiny light at the bottom of this pit simply ceases.
Do we ever hear it hit the ground?
No.
Caleb, by your best judgment, it never did. It literally just traveled so far down that it exceeded the limits of how far you could see it.
Well, there goes that idea.
I don't suppose anyone has an.
Stay away from the
Probably a good idea. Let's go this way.
And Neon, what were you saying?
Don't suppose anyone has an everlasting supply of rope.
I don't have an everlasting supply of rope, but I have a bag of holding that can hold everlasting things.
So not at all what I asked for.
Pretty much.
Well, technically, you know what? I'm not going to get into it. Let's go.
Please don't.
And
Caleb pretty much has to stay next to people because he can't see because he's just a human boy.
Don't you have that
who has
pumpkin
no
that I
dark
gave you?
vision.
You have that pumpkin I gave you.
Do you still have the pumpkin?
Yeah, unless you got rid of it, you should still have it.
you gave it to.
Is it in my inventory?
You give it to
Uh,
Caro?
I remember you gave it to Kara briefly. Did you ever ask for it back?
I can't remember.
Well, Kara, would you have given it back if they had asked?
Yes, but I
I
don't
would
think
just light a torch for.
What?
I would
Hang
just
on.
light another of my torches and give it to him.
Okay. But for the sake of figuring out who has it, just in case, since whoever doesn't get Gil's torch can just take the jack-o'-lantern. What were you saying, Kara?
I was saying, yeah, I would have given it back if he asked for it. I don't think he ever asked for it back.
All right. Well, so I'll say for simplification, Caro, you have the jack-o'-lantern, and Caleb, Gil offers you a torch.
Caleb could see. And so Caleb is going to go off
Go
Because he is
okay.
sneaky boy.
With a torch or jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, he has a torch. Kara has the jack-o'-lantern.
But still, I mean, he's got a bright light.
Caleb is a sneaky boy.
Wander off too far, you don't know what's in here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then let's go.
All right. As you all see Caleb running off ahead with torch in hand, what's going to be the new marching order since Caleb's taking the lead for now?
Like, I have torch. Nothing can stop me now.
I mean, that is the kind of thing like a 14.
Carol and I will be behind Caleb.
All right. So marching order is pretty much the same, just with Caleb in the lead now.
Wait, no, he's waiting for them to catch up.
Okay. All right. So marching order will be.
Stay in the back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was Ever. Did you have something different you want to do? I was just moving everyone into their usual positions. But if you want,
I'm just thinking like he'll kind of smart, just thinking about what to do in this situation. Like,
Caleb's gonna get like right on the wall and peek in.
all right. Caleb, make me a perception check, and since you have a torch now, you won't have disadvantage or anything. So just make me a perception check. As you're a bit ahead of the others and peek around the corner.
There's a decent. That's gonna be a 9.
All right. As you all start heading down the tunnel, you notice that these walls are made of that same kind of slick, moist material that the bottomless pit was made out of. And Caleb, as you kind of brush up against it to stay low and hidden, it's kind of wet and moist to the touch and kind of like crackles a bit under your fingers. And you can see a few of those like small little pebbles and things like stick to your fingers as they brush up against them.
Caleb like shakes his hand. Ugh.
And as you hold your torch up proudly and peek into the next room, you see a fairly large cavern that appears to be made of a very similar material. And you don't see what it is, but you do see as you hold your torchlight out, you hear a kind of and see some movement just at the like edge of where the torch's light is. You see some shapes moving, but can't see what they are. You just hear like scuttling, and then like.
Caleb is gonna come back to the group, and he's gonna say, "I heard things moving in there, like slimy things.
Maybe you should be very, very quiet."
Well.
Gil will step before and say, "Okay, I go first. Then got it." And he'll crack his neck and
we should go in quietly. The barbarian goes first.
All right. Do you guys just want to follow in the usual order behind Gil?
Well, before we go, why are we going this way?
Hold on a second. Caleb has something to say. What was the name of the guy that drove us here?
Barry.
Where's Barry gone?
Well, he mentioned he stayed back to watch the truck.
I didn't pay attention.
But I think
we're gonna say that's canon.
Yeah, but part of me thinks we should turn back.
Turn back to where?
There's another side to this cave, isn't there?
They said it was mostly, undisturbed, so perhaps there is something dangerous there.
And as there's slime, a bottomless pit. Apparently my brother mentioned that he heard some slimy noise. This isn't dangerous.
How do you know it's dangerous?
Well, it sounds like
things could be friendly.
Just completely ignore us. We don't know what it is.
True. So, question: why would people go down this slimy path where the creatures are?
Because the alternative is a bottomless pit.
Well, there's another
Why
way.
would they go down a path that nobody else travels?
I don't know. I mean, well, again, there's a lot of why do this, why would they do this, why would they do that. But I mean, like, apparently we're about to encounter some type of creature. Sounds like so. I'm just wondering why we're doing that. But so be it. If we're
Why
gonna,
did we even go down here? I'm sorry.
we were down here to do a job.
Yeah, we got out of the car and then for some reason went down this way today.
All right. Gil, are you comfortable leading the path?
Why exactly did we go down this way again? I'm sorry.
Because it seems like there has been activity down this path as opposed to the left, where there doesn't seem to be a whole lot. And the party seems relatively comfortable with the idea that it's likely the left path was undisturbed because there's a reason nobody goes that way. Whether it's dangerous or not, it likely
I
isn't.
heard all that. Now it's all fitting together.
Okay.
I'm there. I got it now.
All right. So,
Yeah,
Gil?
I am comfortable taking it.
All right. Do you guys want to follow at a distance, let Gil kind of go in on his own and then catch up, or just stay together but with Gil leading?
Yeah, we'll let Gil lead.
Let me go.
Yeah, and then
Let me go in
be
first.
behind him a little bit.
All right. Gil, as you crack your knuckles and neck, you all watch as Gil walks into the chamber. Do you guys want to keep your distance from the entryway, or kind of like stay on the precipice of it?
Stay on the precipice.
That's like 40 feet right there, right?
Yeah. All right, Neon scuttles forth to kind of stay on the precipice. Caleb as well. Lucian, Zephyr, and Kara, what are the three of you doing?
He's just gonna kind of lean on a wall, waiting for probably scream.
I don't know. What do you think, Carol?
Also stay on the precipice.
I'm also going to send like the tiles, like basically anything behind that would be blocked from Caleb because you can see the wall there.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah. All right.
But that's a pretty small area that Caleb can't see from here.
Mm-hmm. So, Lucian, as you and Zephyr hang back a little bit, as everyone else gathers on the precipice to watch Gil's entry, Gil, you step in, plasma gauntlets at the ready, and as your glow cascades over the cavern, and Caleb, your torchlight joining it once more, all of you can actually see, for a brief second, as the magical and mundane light alike create a pretty wide-spanning glow in the cavern, you see what that scuttling Caleb had heard and seen had been. You see spiders, about fist-sized, seeming to possess 3 legs, though, rather than 8, in kind of a tripodal formation.
It must be kind of awkward for them to move.
No, yeah, I was about to comment. Their movements are somewhat awkward and gangly as they quickly hop and scuttle, seeming intent on avoiding the light that either of you are giving off. And those of you with dark vision, as you gaze around the cavern, Gil in the exact center of it all, this cave is lined with these things on the walls, some even hanging from the ceiling. They don't seem hostile. They're just scuttling around trying to avoid making contact with your light, and just coat like every dark surface of this cave. And you all can see across the cavern to the right is a path going continuing forward. Gil, by your best judgment at a glance, the spiders don't seem hostile, just trying to avoid you.
And in there, like, other webs?
There are a few webs, mostly on the ceiling. You imagine because of their method of locomotion, they can't traverse ceilings without assistance as well as other spiders can.
Do I see what might be corpses anywhere? Because I'm looking for, like, where the caravan may have gone. Like, could its spiders gotten them?
Make a perception check. While he's doing that, does anyone else have anything to do now that you can see all of this?
I had Caleb move up slightly. Do like any spiders that are like over here where the light wouldn't have been? Do they like all?
Yes, Caleb, as you kind of experimentally step out cautiously and wave your torch, you see several of these spiders quickly scuttle up the walls and onto the ceiling, trying to just like, almost like a game, like they're just trying to crowd away and avoid the light as best they can.
Can I pick one of them up?
It'll be a bit tough, but you can try. Make me an animal handling check.
I'll grab the slowest one.
All right, so obviously you'll have to step in. So I'm assuming Garrow will just be right behind you.
Yeah.
All right, you'll have to go to kind of the edge of where the provided light is if you have any hope of getting one. So, because
I was going to say, it seems like they don't like light very much, so we might be able to traverse this area without too much difficulty.
15.
All right, noted. And Gil, what was your perception?
It's a 30-20.
All right, and does anyone respond to Caleb?
Could I, since it's a cantrip, could I make a sacred flame in my hand?
Let me check actually.
What is sacred flame? Is it like a fireball?
Yeah, sort of. It's not. It's more that you just like create a light that damages things, and no, you have to cast it on a creature.
Okay.
And you can sacred flame these creatures if you want. I'm just more saying you can't just cast it without attacking someone, basically.
And, like, it's not a fire, as Matt mentioned before. It does say that.
One more time, Austin.
I was like, it's not like a fire, like even though it says sacred flame, it's not a fire. Believe me.
Yeah, it's kind of trippy.
Spell?
Yeah, there's fireball. It's just sacred flame is not fire, it's just light. But yeah, there's fireball.
Fireball is spell or a cantrip?
It's a spell. It's like 3rd level, I think. Yeah, 3rd level. Yeah, so Caleb, as you kind of pace with your torchlight, kind of playing almost with the spiders as they avoid your torchlight. Caro, cautiously traveling with Garrow to hop beyond the reaches of Gil and Caleb's torch and light steel might blood. Bending down, you see one of the spiders, which kind of awkwardly gangles out of your grip, but are you willing to try and catch it against its will?
Yes.
All right. You've caught tougher insects than this. In fact, these insects would actually make very good food for your kind. So with a hop, you immediately pounce on one and keep it in your grip, and it kind of flails and struggles. It's basically a spider, like I said, about the size of your fist. Its central body about the size of a tennis ball with these 3 gangly, awkward tripodal legs below it.
2 in front or 2 in back?
2 in front, 1 in back. Kind of like creating this almost like crutch-like movement as they hop around. And Kero, as you kind of curiously examine this creature, you've never seen anything like this before. It struggles in your grip and kind of awkwardly fights, but other than struggling, it doesn't bite you. It doesn't hurt you in any way. It just struggles.
Caleb's going to move over to have a look at it.
All right, Caro, you can see Caleb approach you.
What the other ones look like.
One more time.
Caught one of their buddies.
So you want to see if the others are like reacting at all to it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I will say, Caro, you can.
Caleb behind. I can't tell because they're all.
That's Garrow's usually behind Caro, so you're behind Caro. And yeah, Caro, you can hear Caleb approach and see a bunch of the spiders that have been kind of around you scuttle away as Caleb's torchlight sweeps over them. And looking up at them, with your previous animal handling, I'll say they look like they want to assist their friend, but are unwilling to pass through the light to do so. And the one in your hand, it doesn't seem like it's in pain, but it just kind of startles and struggles harder as Caleb's light sweeps over it. Gil, examining the area as Caleb and Caro curiously fawn over this little ball spider. In the webbing, you don't see bodies, and even if and you looking at it closer, the webbing is far too thin to support bodies, even if they wanted to. But looking at the corners where your light is currently covering, you do see mushrooms, a few of which have their caps chewed off.
Apparently, these spiders eat the mushrooms.
So, as I see that, hey, Lucian, I found some more mushrooms.
I go over to the mushrooms. Do I recognize these mushrooms?
Heading into the corner that Gil was indicating. I'll say Neon and Zephyr, the two of you are left in the hallway as Lucian heads in at Gil's suggestion. Do the two of you want to do anything? Caro, Garo, and Caleb are currently fawning over a spider. Gil's just kind of examining the area and providing some light, and Lucian is heading off to examine some mushrooms, and Zephyr broods in the corner.
Brooding.
I'll just move into the room.
All right.
Just kind of stick with the party for now.
All right. Lucian and Neon, as the two of you enter, and Lucian, you approach the corner. So you're asking if you recognize these mushrooms?
Yeah.
Make a nature check at disadvantage.
My other dice. Nine.
You do not recognize these mushrooms. However, looking closely at the mushroom itself, it is pitch black, like this kind of ebony color, and has a very like sticky, like it almost briefly gives you vibes of the ichor because it has that kind of like sticky black texture, but looking closer it appears like it is not coated in this and simply secretes whatever substance this is naturally.
Could I pick the mushrooms and stuff them in my pockets for later?
Make a survival check. Again, I will say at disadvantage because you do not know what this is and how to properly harvest it.
Mm-hmm.
13.
Okay. As you bend down to harvest some of the mushrooms, at least the ones whose caps have been spared the spider's wrath, you pick, and are able to get 3 of the mushrooms in relatively good condition, although you notice your hands are immediately like covered in this like inky substance that this stuff secretes.
Very weird. I sniff it. Does it seem like it might be edible?
Make me another nature check. I'll call this one just neutral, so yeah, make me a nature check.
Much better. 18.
As you examine it on your hands, you notice that it kind of has that, especially in Gil and Caleb's light, kind of has that like rainbow-like look to it, like something like oil would. And as you sniff at it, you immediately recoil as it's unfamiliar to you, but you are familiar with chemicals that smell like this. This stuff is poisonous.
Good to know. I'll turn to Gil. Well, at least we have something poisonous now.
Good to know.
Poison to the touch is poison to eat.
As far as Lucian knows.
We'll find out, I guess. Do I know if it's poisonous to touch? Am I gonna die?
You've already, you know it's poisonous now. You've already.
She's dying right now.
Maybe a medicine check, Gil.
I'm looking all rainbow here.
I don't know of any mushrooms that are like poisonous to touch.
Oh, it's just,
So this is a fantasy world.
Yeah, it's also secreting like an oil or like.
And she did put it up to her nose, so spore go up.
Hey, Austin, you know what the maximum
But that is an 18.
number of dice this thing can roll?
Gil kind of carefully examining Lucian as their just hands are coated in this
What if I'm
sticky
supposed to roll
substance, and their palms and fingers are pitch black with this oily substance. You, as far as you can tell, Lucian seems fine.
Do you think it would break if I told it to roll 1,000,000 d20s?
Well, I just rolled even higher than that.
I'm going to keep an eye on you, Lucian. We can't have you die.
Keep an eye on myself, thank you.
I'm going to keep an eye on her anyways.
Yeah, I figured. All right. So as the two of you, Lucian, you may add 3. You now know poisonous mushrooms to your inventory. Although you do not know the type of poison or mushroom. Neon, as you enter, Zephyr continuing to brood in the hall, but you don't hear the screams and sounds of combat that you expected. Caleb and Kara, what are the two of you doing? Kara, like I said, the spiders look like they want to help their buddy, but are not willing to cross into Caleb's torchlight to do so.
She kind of leans down and just, how smart are you?
It just struggles wildly in your hands trying to get free.
If you can give me a sign that you're
Eat or not to eat? That
I
is the
will not
question.
eat you.
Make me an animal handling check.
Fang?
Caleb, looking it over since Kara's...
It starts doing an Irish jig.
Caro, as you look it over, by your Caleb, as you look it over, by your best judgment, you don't see fangs, but you do see that there is some serration on the bottom half of its body that looks like it would open into a mouth, but you do not see the protruding fangs you would often associate with carnivores. So there is a mouth
Even
on
a
its...
spider if it doesn't have the little mandible fang parts.
Well, I'm more calling it a spider because that's what you guys would consider it, just from its like body shape. Thing with gangly limbs that crawls around in the dark. Has that little furry texture to it. Kara, what was your animal handling?
It was a dirty 20.
All right. It does calm very slightly in your grip. Its legs kind of going limp, although whether that's due to complacence or simply it exhausting itself, you can't really tell. It goes limp and does not give you any indication that you would consider a sign of like acknowledged intelligence, but it does relax slightly as if your voice is calming it in some way.
Eat it or not.
This one will be a friend.
Just eat it.
Wait, friend.
Too late. It's my friend now.
And besides, there's like hundreds more of them in here.
I shall eat your friends now that we're friends.
Neon, are you doing anything?
Mostly just observing.
All right. All right.
Also, I think the name is wrong.
What?
This is episode 1 of our Q&A sideshow called
Well, it's-
5.5.
The name, I fixed the name a little after Saturday.
Yeah, so it might have.
Let me refresh.
Yeah.
There it goes. Okay, never mind.
No worries. All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to do, or do you guys want to continue onward?
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Continue. I'll still take the lead.
All right.
Guess I should go with them.
All right. Because yeah, you're not too far away, so you can like hear the conversation. So Gil and Lucian seem ready to go. So you want to just fall in? All right. Oh, sorry. There you go.
I'm here with those all.
All right. Caro, what would you like to do with your newly acquired creature?
I will put it in my pocket.
Does your pocket zip or anything, or?
I'm not sure what kind of little pouches I have. Let me see.
Well, basically, because it's just an outfit practicality thing, I'll let you decide if your outfit has any zippers on it.
It says new clothes. I will.
New clothes.
Yeah, new clothes.
Yeah. This is purely flavor, so if you wanted to have...
It'll have a zipper.
Okay.
This pouch.
Okay.
Purpose.
Alright. Stuffing your new acquisition within, you zip it up and excitedly hop into formation along with Neon as the group seems ready to continue on. And as the torchlight and the glow light from Gil begins to recede, you guys see these spiders begin to climb back down onto the floor and continue just scuttling about. Those of you with dark vision can see them just essentially hovering outside of the range of the lights you guys are creating, seeming relatively comfortable now that the light seems to be going away, and as are the intruders into their nest.
Lost one friend, that's all.
Alright, if you guys are ready to continue.
Like, I am so tempted to throw a torch back in that room.
Leave them be.
Piss off the spider-looking things.
The spider army.
Can't just make a man that can kill you.
Yeah, it's gonna kill Gil. I think they could beat up Gil if they
by
attacked.
spider horde.
Alright. As you guys continue further down, you see that the tunnel begins to get narrower. A turn to your left, becoming much thinner and skinnier than the previous tunnelways have been. And you notice that the texture of it changes. Rather than that moist cave wall, you notice the walls are becoming smoother, as if the stone has been carved and delicately trimmed.
Like it's man-made?
By your best estimate, it would have to be. Basically, your best estimate is it either must be handmade or the only alternative is something eroded it away, but without the sort of natural erosion of something like water. So something had to do it, just whether it was sentient and done deliberately or the passing action of a larger creature is hard to know. But at a glance, it is definitely smoothed out by unnatural means.
And could a cart fit down this?
It'd be a bit of a squeeze, especially at the turn, but you estimate they probably could.
Guys, I'm starting to wonder if this is the correct way. We haven't seen any trace of that cart or a caravan.
Well, let's go.
And it's getting thinner.
Zephyr, twirling his parasol, begins to trot down the path ahead of you, Gil.
Let's see where this goes and see if it gets thinner, we know that this is not the one and we will turn back and go the other way. Is that fair?
Okay. And I will rush back up to the front.
I'll be like this.
All right. Caleb, as you start kind of cautiously making your way up ahead, Gil and Zephyr almost enter into a... Zephyr, do you run back?
I know where I'm going. It's like...
Alright, so Zephyr and Caleb almost enter into a race, go running back and forth before finally Gil, almost as if they're taunting you with how fast they are compared to you. You run, Zephyr and Caleb both just sprinting, literally getting to the next cave, coming back to the group, and then running back ahead of you and meeting you at the entrance of the next room.
Caleb's in the next room.
See the next room.
I'm working on it. You guys are going faster than the narrator is keeping up.
Even the
Jesus
narrator
Christ.
can't see this far ahead.
One more time, Kara.
Said even the narrator can't see this far ahead.
Yeah.
Caleb, you kind of skid to a stop as that thought runs through your head, and Zephyr, you and Gil just more contentedly come to a stop as you all find yourself looking into a massive...
It's a giant JPEG.
Looking into a massive... Lucian, for you especially, the word that immediately comes to your mind is church, although it's definitely seen better days. The walls are smooth, and there seems to have once been ornate glassworks decorating the walls that have since been broken. And you can quickly see why, as this massive staircase taking up a grand majority of the room heading further up, you see a lot of it has been caved in by boulders and rocks that appears to... leave me alone. I have to make maps, okay? You see that the half of the stairs have been crushed by a massive cave-in that likely damaged the glasswork as well. You see on either side of the stairs statues, although the statues have long crumbled and lay in pieces on their pedestals.
Caleb, investigate the statues. To see
Yeah, I
what
was
they
gonna
might
say,
have been.
can I make any investigation, like to see what religion it is, or...
Both of you make me religion checks.
Would it be religion or investigation?
Yeah. Well, so are you trying to? So you said you're trying to see what they might have once been, right?
Yeah.
So that'll require knowing what god it was dedicated to. So yeah, this will be religion for both of you.
Caleb is a dumb bitch when it comes to religion.
And while they're doing this, I
That's
want to
a
just
four.
look around and make sure that there's nothing else in this room that could hurt us.
All right, roll me perception, and everyone just keep their rolls ready. I want to make sure everyone in the group has like something to do if they have anything they want to do. Zephyr, as someone who entered pretty early, as you see the group immediately start to split, Lucian and Caleb messing with the statues, and Gil just taking a stance next to you as they kind of survey the area. Zephyr, what are you doing?
I guess I would like to look. I mean, these mentioned these are stairs, right? Can I see up the stairs? Like...
You ruffled.
Yeah, you're a little crackly, bud.
Oh yeah.
Crunchy.
Oh no.
Here, we'll come back to you. Neon and Kara, what are the two of you doing?
I want to move to this
some other
opening
place
here and just kind of keep guard.
Okay. And Kara with Garrow in tow.
I'm just kind of so how much bigger than it is? Is it?
Like compared to the previous caverns?
Well, than us. How short are we compared to it?
Well, wait. So compared to what? Just the room, or
the church?
The church is massive. It's, again, you would have to roll to get like a more exact measurement, but looking up at the ceiling, that ceiling's got to be easily like 100 feet higher or more.
Be that far? So high. But
Oh.
And Neon, as you try, I haven't described this area yet, so this will be a good chance to do so. And Zephyr, now that your mic sounds better, what were you going to do?
I was going to look up the stairs.
Maybe perception check. I'll give you advantage and count that as Neon's roll as well.
Actually, a minute. Well, natural 1 the first roll.
Okay.
Natural 19, so 27.
Okay. Zephyr, you're impatient and like a little aggravated at the party delaying at everything they see. But so you just kind of tap your foot impatiently at the foot of the stairs. But you do give the room a brief surveying. As does Gil. Again, we'll get to everyone else's roles. I just I'm taking this one at a time. Neon, as you travel up, since I hadn't described this area yet, surrounding the stairs are these kind of sloped ramps, almost like basically the floor naturally transitions into these ramps that go up to the second floor, which overlooks the rest of this cavern. And there appears to be a path going left and a path going right, with, again, ornate glassworks decorating the back wall that have been smashed by the rock slide. And Neon will get to anything you see or hear in just a minute. We'll circle back around now. Lucian and Caleb, what were your religion checks?
Mine was a 4.
25.
All right. Caleb, your family wasn't particularly religious at the best of times, and you're not even 100% sure if this god was even native Yavik. So, especially with the statue laying in pieces, you haven't the foggiest what deity this might have been in reference to. And Lucian, what was yours again? Sorry.
25.
Lucian, as you look over the pieces on the rightmost statue that has been smashed by the rock slide, you notice, as you kind of like put your keen mind to use and try to almost like in your head reassemble what the statue may have looked like. It's a bit clumsy, as you have no frame of reference beyond the pieces, some of which appear to have been crushed by the boulders. You do not know off the top of your head every deity in the world by heart by any stretch, even as a religious person. However, you know enough context to put the pieces together. Being that you're in the Underdark, in a place that that is likely inhabited by dark elves, and you notice that some of the pieces look like they would best fit together in the form of spider legs.
You said she could put the pieces back together.
You estimate, although you aren't positive, you estimate that just from context and guesswork, that this statue may have been in devotion to Arachne, the chief goddess of the Dark Elves.
Caleb was like, man, I don't know anything about gods, but there's anything I know about places of worship. There's probably some gold somewhere. Is there anything in this floor that looks like it might be a valuable artifact, or maybe or a collection box?
Make an investigation check. And again, we'll circle back to you, so just keep your check on hand. And Lucian?
I'm gonna look at Caleb. Don't take from the church.
Why not? They're not going to use it.
That's not the point. I mean, I guess you could give it to me and I could donate it to another church.
To the church of furthering myself.
Like, but okay if you do it.
Well, to be fair, it seems like she intends to donate it to a church herself.
Church steals.
Welcome to the entire course of history, bud. Gil, what was your perception?
25.
Gil, as you look around, you watch as Lucian and Kalo kind of snip at each other about taking from the church, as Kalo immediately starts kind of checking the area, occasionally kicking aside rocks to see if maybe the collection box has been buried. You don't see anything in this room that seems like it would bring your party to harm. There doesn't appear to be anything in here, and the rock slide, whatever caused it, appears to have moved on. If it was anything unnatural to begin with. You estimate this particular room to be relatively safe. And, Caro, do you want to do anything else as you kind of marvel at how high the walls seem to go?
So is it like just an open church, or does it have like doors?
There's not doors, but there is tunnels to the left and right up on the second floor where Neon is.
Wait, Neon's on the second floor?
Oh yeah, like this because the stairs go up.
Is this the second floor?
Yeah, basically everything past the stairs is the second floor. The smooth rock are basically ramps from the floor that lead up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kara, is there anything else you'd like to do?
I thought this was all one big room, and like going up the stairs would take you into another instance.
Upstairs.
All right, you're gonna head upstairs. You can move your. You're not on. Anywhere in particular you want to go upstairs, or just be up there?
I want to start heading inside.
So left path or right path? Neon is like at least checking out the left path, if that helps you at
I'll
all.
go the right path.
All right. Make me a perception check, and Neon, after Kara makes theirs, we'll get to you, and then describe the different paths.
Does Caleb's investigation take him up to the second floor?
You said you're going to check out the entire room. So, yeah, Caleb and Zephyr, the two of you, start heading upstairs. As Caleb, you just scavenge the area as best you can, and Zephyr, you just kind of pace about, like, impatiently waiting for the group to get moving. Kara, what'd you roll for perception?
17.
All right, got it. So, taking this one at a time, Neon.
Mm-hmm.
As you perk up your massive ears, as you climb up, ascend up the ramp, in the distance, tell me, what languages do you speak?
A couple of them. Hang on. I speak Sylvan, Common, Elvish, and Undercommon.
All right. Neon, you hear a conversation in Undercommon. It sounds very distant, but your large ears and the acoustics of this cave allow you to hear it. It's been a long time since anyone passed through the caves. They said they would pay the toll. We just have to wait. I'm tired of waiting. The boss has been gone for so long.
Sound like fun.
Caro and Garrow, listening down your path. To the right, you hear the sound of slightly trickling water. The occasional and a sound that catches your attention more than the others. It's light and doesn't appear like immediately concerning for you, but you do catch among the sparking noise and the gentle bubbling of water this low, high-pitched chitter that sounds like it's coming from multiple creatures.
Ooh.
Caleb, what'd you get for your investigation?
11. D&D Beyond is being an asshole.
As you search the area, digging aside some of the rocks and rubble to the best of your ability, you do not see anything that immediately strikes you as valuable, although you do estimate the stained glass, if you collect the pieces, might sell for a little bit, and possibly some of the statue pieces. They might sell for something, but you don't see anything that strikes you a collection box. However, I will throw you a bone and say that you know enough about churches to know that the collection box would likely not be in this room, as this appears to simply be a sort of gallery for the stained glass, almost like a viewing area. You imagine the collection box and the personal values would likely be deeper in.
Caleb's gonna get next to Neon and be like, "Do you hear anything down there?"
Is that me?
Yeah, Caleb kind of walks up next to you.
I heard people talking, something about paying a toll, boss not being here. Tired of waiting.
Gold, if they have some gold. If they're collecting tolls.
Maybe true, but I think you're ignoring the more pressing matter of there are people here and they know we're here.
Well, it sounds like they're not talking about.
Yeah, but that's an issue that we can deal with at the same time as the other issue.
That's fair.
Unless they think we know about the toll because of a certain someone who isn't with us.
I say we gather the others and maybe confront them.
Caleb's gonna shout down the stairs. Neon think he heard someone up here, and we should maybe investigate as a group.
And you just announced our presence.
There's something up here where we are right here.
Well, you said they already knew we were here.
You just announced what we were going to do.
Lucian, Gil, and Carol, all three of you just see the three on the leftmost pass immediately start just yelling at each other and at you three. What would the three of you who have not gone towards the left, what would you all like to do?
We'll go up there and see what the children are arguing about.
Said the child about the children.
Talk.
Yeah, said the child about the children. All right, so Lucian, you make your way up what remains of the stairs. Gil and Caro? And Caro, I was saying you could
look at Caro say.
Go on.
I was gonna say, I'll look at Caro and say, let's go see what these idiots are up to.
Says the village idiot.
What is a child, or what is an adult, but just a really big child?
All right.
Well, if they think we're coming from the left, then we have the advantage.
True.
And
Caro say?
Caro, repeat.
My headphones fell off whenever they said that.
If they think we're coming from the left, then we have the advantage.
Should we take the right then?
Yes.
Yes.
The rest of you good with Caro's plan?
Caro? I was saying, since they think we're coming from the left, should we go the other way?
Yes. Let us do it. Yes.
Is everyone good with that plan?
Yep.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, they're having this conversation like 15 feet away from you. So. So Lucian, Neon, Zephyr, the three of you good to go right as Caro suggests?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
All right. What's the marching order going to be?
I would like to take up the front.
Okay. Oh, and I will say, if it matters, the tunnel does appear to widen back to the normal tunnel size you've been encountering up to this point, down this way. All right, so Gil's taking up the front. Does anyone else want to join him up front, or do people want to start funneling in behind him?
I'll take up the rear.
I'll go up with him in the front.
Something I've been wondering. Couldn't know the road. No, ahead of it.
Oh, they're with the front.
Well,
But then that.
Caleb's right there.
up to you.
Now Zephyr's the one fidgeting.
All right. Neon will be taking up the rear. Caro, do you want to join Zephyr in the middle or join Neon in the back? There's not enough room for you to be up front.
I'll go in the back.
All right. So, marching orders: Lucian, Gil, and Caleb up front, Zephyr in the middle, and Neon with Caro and Garo in the back. As you guys proceed forward,
Roll initiative.
Sounds like it.
We still got like an hour.
sorry,
Come on, y'all. Don't get ahead of the dice.
as you all proceed forward, you find yourselves in a small cavern. Caro, you can immediately see what was creating that bubbling sound you heard. You see a very gently flowing trail of water. However, it appears like the flow of water has weakened significantly, as there's a divot in the floor surrounding it and rocks that appear to have been part of the earlier rock slide on either side of you, seeming like it's blocking off the natural path of this flow of water. Directly ahead of you, you see a set of stairs that appear to go upwards, appearing of the same make.
I'm just gonna go look up those stairs.
Well, hang on, don't get too far ahead of me. At the base of where the rocks have fallen, however, not under them, just laying at the foot of them, you see a truck, not too dissimilar to the one Barry drives. However, it has been totaled. The front is completely bashed inwards. One of the headlamps is completely smashed, and the other one appears to have long since died.
Where is it?
At the base of the rocks to the left, about right here. And there are blood splatters coating the doors. And sitting in a crouched position at the foot of one of the doors, the shotgun seat that you had been riding, Caleb, you see one of each. You see, thank you. You see one of Edict's security robots laying. It seems like it's still barely clinging to functionality. The headlamps and internal mechanisms chittering and clicking and flashing and sparking. Other than that, you initially think the room might be uninhabited. However, all of your attentions are immediately diverted to a small coming from inside the small machine and startling all of you, hopping out of this chest cavity caved into the machine. You see a small lizard, about the size of a pigeon, but bipedal, with two fingered claws at the end of its wrists. It has a long, spindly little neck, and it looks up at you with wide, very innocent-looking dark eyes as it kind of tilts its head to the side.
Zephyr, I might be one of your ancestors. At least related to
Can I pick it up?
You can try. Do you want to roll animal handling?
I
want to
want
try.
a lizard boy. You
Alright.
get it?
Yeah, we got it. Okay, so Gil, roll, but again, let's take this one person at a time. So Caleb, do you still want to approach the stairs, or has this sight changed your mind on that? You see Gil step forward to pick the small creature up as it tilts its head at him.
That's why I couldn't select things.
All right.
Also, Caleb's gonna be like, "Hey, Neon, maybe you can look at the robot and see if there's anything we can learn from that."
Neon.
I could take a look, see if there's anything interesting. And I will. Matthew?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. That was my bad. Lucian and Caro, because Zephyr, I'm assuming you're just waiting by the stairs. All right, Lucian and Caro, what are the two of you doing? Yeah, got it. So Zephyr, are you just waiting by the stairs for the others?
Exactly. He'll kind of see what's further on. I mean, he's nothing.
All right, make me a perception check, and we'll come back to you. Lucian and Caro, what are the two of you doing? You see Gil and Caleb interestedly approaching this small creature that hopped out of the robot's chest, with Neon approaching to start examining the robot itself, and Zephyr is just doing some quick scouting up the stairway.
It's like right next to the car, right?
The little creature? Or the stairs?
The robot.
Yeah, it's literally propped up, sitting down against the shotgun seat that Caleb had been sitting in.
As very much vestedly interested as Carol is in the creature, she'll check around in the car.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second.
It's all right. Do you want to just a quick recap of everything you missed?
Yes.
All right. And Kara, I'll move you to check out the other side of the car. Lucian, you see a truck similar to the one that drove you here in a cavern that appears to have also suffered a rock slide, with a river's flow appearing to have been blocked by said rock slide. The truck is battered and covered in blood, and you see a damaged Edict security robot propped up against the shotgun seat that Caleb had been sitting in. Neon is currently investigating the robot, Caro is investigating the truck, and Gil and Caleb have taken a vested interest in a small bipedal lizard that hopped out of the robot's caved-in
and
chest.
it's bipedal too. This might actually be like an ancestor species named Zephyr.
And Zephyr is currently scouting ahead up the stairs.
Are there any... You said that there's blood. Is there any people?
Nope. As far as you can tell, you want to make you want to help Caro check around?
Yes, I do.
All
I don't
right.
know.
Caro, make your investigation check with advantage. Zephyr, you should have your perception, and Gil, your animal handling. Neon, how do you want to go about checking out
What did Gil do?
Gil is trying to pick the small creature up.
When did he start to do that?
I mentioned that earlier, twice.
Oh, I didn't hear you say. I didn't hear
should
him or you
check
say
out
that.
investigation.
I just thought he approached it.
Yeah, no, he's trying to pick it up. And Neon, how do you want to go about checking out the robot?
I want to just kind of get like a general idea of like what it does and if it still works.
Well, you do recognize this as being one of the security robots from Edict.
Okay, yeah. Then I want to see if it still works, and if so, I'm not sure. Maybe I could fuck around with it and see if it'll do anything for us.
Check its memory.
Or I could do that, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I don't know if I'm
All
feeling
right, well,
it.
one step at a time. First, make an investigation check to see to the best. And I'll say roll investigation with advantage because you're just trying to see if it still works. So yeah, I'll let you roll with advantage for that. And then just keep your roll at the ready, and we'll take this one at a time. So Zephyr, you first. Approaching the stairs as everyone either fawns over the new creature, the robot, or the truck. The stairs appear to go further up and then curve around upwards to the left. Keeping your ears your ears peeled. What was your perception roll?
20, 28.
Oh, nice. Listening up the stairs, you hear a much more powerful water flow than what you had heard before. It sounds like the water runs a lot deeper in the next area. Other than that, the only other sound that catches your attention before you turn away to contemplate what you want to do is two sounds that kind of startle you a little bit. You hear a distant this distant, deep thudding, as if massive, almost like massive footfalls. And much closer than that, you can hear more of the sounds that the small lizard creature is making. Gil, what was your animal handling roll?
Can Caleb help him with it?
Gil, go ahead and roll with advantage.
Okay.
But tell me both of you roll separately so I can flavor it
17.
properly. All right. And what was the lower roll?
17 is mine.
All right. And Caleb's?
The lower roll is 12.
All right. Which one did you roll first?
The 17, which was mine.
Okay. So, Gil, you and Caleb approach this small lizard-like creature, and you both kind of approach it calmly, both having some idea of how to approach an animal. And Gil, as you reach your arm out to grab it, and Caleb, you kind of gently move your hands to calm it, it puts up no resistance and lets you pick it up without complaint. And it kind of tilts its head at you, Gil, and kind of...
I want to feed it one of my rations.
All right. And Kara, what was your investigation with advantage? Give me both results and tell me which one came first.
What happened? I'm sorry.
Kara and Lucien are checking out the truck.
Yeah, my headphones fell again.
I was gonna say, you cut out. I didn't hear anything.
Christ. Well, Kara and Lucien are investigating the truck. And I'll note that you're feeding it your rations. So Kara,
Okay.
so Kara, what was your roll? You had investigation with advantage. Just give me both results if you can.
Oh yeah, my roll was 3. And my other roll was also 3.
All right. Lucien and Caro, the two of you kind of cautiously squeezing around the rocks and boulders littering that wall of the cavern. You look in the truck through its front windows so as to not have Gil's frame blocking your view. You don't see any bodies. However, you are startled a little bit as one of the windows, which appears to have been broken, is immediately hopped up into and occupied by another one of the small creatures, which tilts its head at you, Karen.
Kara gives a little smile to it.
And it hops down at the foot of the truck and kind of approaches you curiously, almost like a puppy excited to be fed.
That's food.
Neon, what'd you roll for your investigation on the machine?
16 and then a 14.
Checking the now abandoned chest cavity of the robot, you see that several of its wires have been bitten, you assume by the small creature that is currently being held by Gil. However, with some repairs, you estimate it could be restored to functionality. It appears like most of its its damages would prevent it from moving, but you imagine you could restore the body to basic functionality if you had some time.
How much time?
You estimate you would probably need, like, with you, the tool you acquired from the security drone in the facility before, you imagine you would probably need, like, 20 minutes tops, maybe faster if you got lucky.
All right, that sounds fine.
So do you want to start getting into some repairs on it?
Yeah.
All right. Zephyr, as you turn from your investigation, you kind of are a little nonplussed, but slightly concerned, as you see Caro and Lucien both looking down at another small lizard creature and seem to have not noticed a third one that has hopped up onto the roof of the truck and is kind of curiously eyeing Lucien. And Gil and Caleb appear to have not noticed as two more gently creep out from the rocks on the other side of the cave and kind of sniff at them curiously. Gil, the one in your hand, delightedly takes the rations as you feed it in.
I feel like I realized. Ooh.
This feels like the scene with the compies from Jurassic Park.
I see the one on the roof of the car that's eyeing me.
Yeah, you can take a quick. Although before you do that, Zephyr, do you want to say anything to the group, or are you just gonna watch how this plays out?
As tempting as it may be, I will tell the bird. More creatures ahead. Seems to be big.
How big?
Couldn't tell you. Basically, it sounded like loud footsteps.
Well, I imagine a lot of things are big too.
And Lucien, as you kind of turn your head to kind of snark at Zephyr, you kind of startle a little bit as, yeah, you do see the one now perched on the roof, which is quickly joined by an additional one. That then they both kind of tilt their head and kind of curiously tilt their heads at you.
Kind of look back at them. Now you stay there. Stay.
Gil, the one in your hand, as long as you continue to feed it, just delightedly squeaks and squeals and hawks down your rations greedily.
I'm only using one ration.
Yeah. Well, this is a pigeon-sized creature, so it's like a day's worth of rations for you can feed it for a while. As Caro and Lucian, you step away from.
Saying that's all I'm planning to use.
Yeah, noted. Caleb, you kind of turn away with a smile from as Gil feeds and kind of startle a little bit as you see the two that are creeping up behind the two of you. They don't seem hostile, just curious as they kind of tilt their heads and as you look down at them.
Can Caleb try to see where they're like coming from?
Make a perception check.
That is going to be an 18.
As you hold up your torch and look around, you actually see more of them starting to creep out. They're very small. It looks like they've just been hiding in the crevices of the rocks that have fallen in this cavern. You see two more creep out from the rocks on the right side of the cavern, and an additional three hop up on top of the boulder towering in this room. You even see a couple starting to approach Neon as they like dig themselves further into the machine to start making repairs. It seems like every time you turn around, there's like two or three more that have joined them and slowly starting to form a circle of curious creatures around you.
There's a lot of these things around.
Yeah, they're cute.
And Caleb's also going to be like, you probably don't want them. You should be a little careful, Neon, in case they start gnawing on the wires again.
Neon, you kind of perk up and turn to see the two that are curiously approaching you.
I want to take the wrench that I'm holding and smack the ground in front of him. Like, shoo, get out of here.
Make an intimidation check. I'll give you advantage.
That I can do. I have my intimidation is great. I got a 3 and then a 17.
As you as you just say, get out of here, they don't seem to respond, but as you smash the ground, all of you see all of them sans the one Gil is holding immediately vanish, like darting into like crevices and rocks to hide. However, Gil, the one you're holding, still appears content and just kind of perks its head up at the sound and looks around before continuing to dig into the ration you've provided it with.
You're such a cute little guy, aren't you?
Oh.
They seem like they're just making noises, or does it seem to be like an actual like pattern to their noises?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. Do they seem to be communicating?
Both of you make me nature checks. I'm gonna give you disadvantage because you have no idea what creature this is. So,
But if we're both doing it, wouldn't we be able to like help and cancel out the disadvantage?
if you want, yeah, one of you can make a straight roll, or you can both roll with disadvantage. Up to you two.
Either 4 rolls or 1 roll.
Yeah, but
so-
picking the lowest of 2 of the rolls.
So, Amanda, Hunter, how do the two of you want to do it?
Do my own, or I could do whatever you want, Hunter.
I guess I'll just make the roll because I was the first one to mention it.
Yeah, sure. So,
And then we'll say that Lucian's helping.
yeah, make me a straight roll.
I don't matter because I get the same roll twice.
Well, Hunter's is going to be the one that counts.
Can we say that it's her roll?
I'll say make that decision before she says what the result was. Is that what you want?
Well, I don't know how much worse it could be.
That's what the risk is about.
Well, I rolled a 9.
Okay, we're going to go with that since you already rolled. The two of you have never encountered a creature that even looks like this, let alone sounds like it. You can't really tell. Although I will say the others don't seem to be responding to it, more that they're just kind of chittering themselves. As far as your judgment, both of your judgments are concerned, if they are communicating, it's not directly. They appear to be more focused on what they themselves are doing and not necessarily working together, at least by your best judgment.
No, I had a 17.
And Neon, since it will take you some time, and if you do really well, do you want to give the group a heads up that you want to try and repair this thing?
I'll tell him. Can we all hold up for a few minutes? I want to try my hand at tinkering here. Shouldn't take long.
How long is it?
Yeah, sure.
And Nora
10,
and I have
15.
already.
A few
Or-
minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we've already looked for bodies. I thought I saw blood. Do you think anybody else could maybe help and look around for bodies?
As silence,
I'll look to see where the blood trails go.
make me an investigation check. And are you still going to hold the little creature as you do this?
Yes.
All right. Noted.
And that's a dirty 20.
Okay. Looking around, you follow some of the blood spats. You notice there's a few very small, faint ones where the water is. It doesn't seem to be a trail per se, and more just kind of like a general pattern, but it appears like the blood spatters go from the truck across the cavern to the rocks on the rightmost side, where the spatters get particularly thick and violent. And Lucian, Caro, Caleb, and Zephyr, I'll say as Gil turns away to start checking this out, the creature in his hand gives another like... and you all see the two that had been eyeing Lucian hop back onto the roof of the truck and tilt their heads at Gil curiously.
Well, really.
Well, everyone sans Gil sees this.
Oh no, I'm just not that like what Zephyr plans to do.
Oh.
I don't want to sit here. So if it's not, too much trouble, and he, gives a good stare at Lucian, I'm going to scout ahead.
I stare back down at him. Don't go too far. We don't know what's here. If there's any trouble, run fast.
Well, I mean, don't have to worry about avoiding trouble. I mean, as you've seen, I can probably faster than most, and if need be, and I mean, I assume the suit is charged. Possibly.
Yeah, it came charged, so you're fine.
Well, I used it once.
Well, that was a couple days ago now, so you're fine.
You'll point to the suit. I can get away. So I'll just start wandering off.
Zephyr, as you do this, and Lucian, you see this too. As Zephyr starts making his way up the stairs, and Lucian, just as you're about to turn away, you see Zephyr kind of abruptly stop as he starts to approach the curve of the stairs. Because Zephyr and Lucian, you see this too, several more of the little creatures are starting to wander down the stairs, and they all kind of eye Zephyr curiously. Caro, the three that had jumped out of the truck jump back out of the broken window on the driver's side and kind of like start to like gently kind of form a sort of triangular formation around you, kind of curiously eyeing you, and one of them kind of approaches Gara with a couple hops and kind of sniffs at him curiously.
She just looks and just, hello, little ones.
One of them kind of hops up and down, waving its tail excitedly like a puppy.
If you're looking for food, this is not the right place, sorry. I only eat bugs.
Kara, as you say this, you hear a few little pit-pap sounds and look up and see the ones on the boulder are standing atop it again. And Neon, your ears kind of perk up and you turn away as you start your repair work to see that the two that have been approaching you have returned and are looking at you curiously.
I'm going to repeat myself.
Make an intimidation check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage, okay.
Solid one.
Oh boy, that's an 8 and then a 2.
Want to give me... So you're just going to do the exact same thing you did before?
Yeah, I basically just smack the wrench on the ground and just get out of here.
Neon, as you do this, again, Gil, just as you're turning away from your investigation of the blood, you all turn to see Neon, like, shout again, and, like, as he bangs his wrench, rather than retreating, one of them actually snaps at the wrench as he waves it, and kind of, like...
How big are these things?
They're, like, pigeon-sized. They're very
Pigeon-sized?
small.
Cool. I want to step on that one.
You realize you're rather small yourself.
Yeah, but I'm not as small as a pigeon.
Yeah.
Make me an unarmed strike.
Okay, I can do that. Actually, I think I have proficiency with unarmed.
You can do it.
Efficiency.
Think. No, I don't. Never mind. I was thinking simple weapons. Oh, well, that's okay. I'll still do it. That would be 13.
As you stomp towards it, it kind of jumps out of the way, and as you step back to like kind of regain your footing, the other one snaps at your foot as it travels over its head.
Could you not, be hostile towards the little creatures?
Zephyr, as you kind of slowly, cautiously backpedal down the stairs just to avoid like agitating them, a few of them jump forward and kind of snap at you lightly. Caro, the ones surrounding you, start to kind of tighten their formation around you, and you see Garrow kind of paw back awkwardly as it starts to get really into his personal space.
Starting to attack. They're hungry.
And Caleb, as you look around, and Gil, you kind of survey from your different position, you see that, again, much like before, almost every moment that passes, more and more seemed almost like they're coming out of the walls, appearing from cracks, coming out from under rocks, coming from down the stairs with Zephyr. Lucian, you kind of startle a little bit as you feel a light pain in your ankle, as you see one kind of gnawing on your ankle, and as you kind of like kick it away reflexively, it like bounces on the stairs, and more and more of them begin to surround you all as they all go silent. And Gil, you look down to the one in your hand that looks up at you and tilts its head and gives a and bites your thumb violently as all of the creatures begin to charge at you. I would like you all to please roll for initiative.
Go on the D&D Beyond page to roll initiative. Oh, here.
They both rolled the same.
I got
So
nat
what
20.
did we say about me using the phasing thing to avoid being hit?
Because you already have a bonus action that would literally have the exact same effect, you could just do that instead. But we can flavor it as you're using the suit if you like. I don't obviously have a token, but you all are up against several Compsognathus swarms.
What the fuck is that?
The little dinosaurs from Jurassic Park.
The compy?
Yeah, that's short for Compsognathus.
Okay, can we just call it compy?
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't in character know the name anyway. Yeah, just go ahead and call it Compy. I'm just saying Compsognathus swarm for like officiality. I obviously don't have a token, so I'll just go ahead and make them just small dragons.
You make little dots.
Actually, the Compsognathus will, the cockatrice will do.
Like,
Small dragons. So how are we handling this? Is like each of them
there are they as they start to kind of conglomerate, there are 3 swarms, each occupying a different part of the room. All right, so let me roll their initiative and then we'll get started.
I got Oh fuck! I forgot what I got.
16.
All right.
It's 16.
Not-
You rolled the same as me.
Not
Yeah,
great
I
for
got
them. Okay, so 25 to 20.
I got a
19.
nat 20.
Lucian, one more time.
19.
All right. I actually need to make a dedicated initiative sheet. It'd be much easier. There we go. Much better. Okay. So Neon, Lucian, 20 to 15.
I got a 16.
I got a 13.
16 as well.
All right. So Caleb and Zephyr, you'll take your turn together. Caro, you'll go after them. 15 to 10.
How does taking our turn together work?
Basically, you can choose who goes first. Basically you'll both go one after the other, but you can choose if you want Caleb or Zephyr to go beforehand.
If we get one, if we just attack at the same time, both of us like, you know what, let's just attack.
Depending on how you flavor it, I may like reward you with some advantage or something. Depends on how creative you guys get. Little Tabedra combo. Pickpocket the lizard while also stabbing them in the back.
Hey, one's over
10
here, one's over here. So.
10 to 5. 5 to none. Gil, what was your initiative?
Rip.
I know his initiative, but what happened?
He's not in the room.
You.
You.
No, we cannot hear.
Yeah, we can't hear you, bud.
Are you muted?
Right.
Doesn't look like it. It'll show if they're muted. Unless they mute their mic itself like that. But my Yeti microphone's acting up. Bathroom.
Oh, well, his turn's kind of low in the order, so we'll just go ahead and go.
Yeah.
All right. Battle begins. Neon. You watch as the ones on the boulder emerging from the truck and conglomerating in front of you gather to your right. Some of them even using the fucking bot itself as like a jumping off point to try and jump and snap at you. As you hold up your wrench kind of defensively, Caleb at your back, what would you like to do? And I will say, if it helps you guys with flavoring your attacks, bear in mind that while on the battle map they are counted as one monster, this is a swarm of very little individual monsters. So, flavor your attacks accordingly. It won't affect it mechanically, just, bear that in mind for, like, if you want to flavor your attacks. Basically, you can kill multiple of these things in one strike.
I want to sweep my fucking, my axe, my,
Yeah, your ionic axe.
Yeah, I can't want to say proton axe, my ionic axe. I want to just kind of sweep it through the group.
All right, go for it. Make an attack roll.
23. Fuck yes.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
Better be a hit.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah. Let's see. I got 8 plus 1, 9.
All right. 9 damage. Okay, noted. Is that it for your turn?
That'll be it. That's all I can really do.
All right, Lucian, you're up. You've just been like nibbled at by some of the ones in the swarm that is currently attacking Caro, Garo, and Zephyr. What would you like to do? The swarm of them seem to be conglomerating mostly on the stairs to snap at Zephyr.
I'll take a hold of my holy symbol, and I would say a prayer, hold up my hand, and out of the ground come shadows of snakes and spiders and scorpions as I cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
So we'll have to.
Anything that's
Yeah, you can designate any number of creatures to be unaffected by it. So, do you just want to hit the compies, or do you want to hit any of your allies?
Just a little,
All right.
not for the lizard.
So it's still
All right.
snakes and lizard or snakes. And...
Yeah, you all can see this, but yeah. All right. An affected creature's speed is halved, noted, and when it enters it the first time or starts its turn there, it must make a wisdom save. All right. So it won't do anything on this turn, but it'll do something on its turn. Got it. So you all see. Oh.
But it's a 15-foot radius.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to like organize it so it can hit the swarm attacking gill as well?
Yeah.
All right. Noted. I'll keep that in mind. So Zephyr, pretty much everyone sans Neon more or less. Actually, even Neon too. More or less, a good chunk of the cavern fills with shadowy, specter-like snakes and scorpions, enveloping all of you. Although the creatures, yeah, it would hit everyone. So while the shadowy creatures, while startling, do not attack any of you. They do seem very intent on attacking these strange, hostile reptiles. Is that the end of your turn, Lucian?
Let me see.
Bonus action.
Also, Caleb and Zephyr are on deck, so both of you have what you want to do ready. And Caro, you'll be going after them.
Bonus action can't.
No, I don't have any bonus actions that I can do.
All right, so Zephyr and Caleb, the room has filled with shadowy specters summoned by Lucian that seem to be assisting you in the battle, and Neon is just making broad sweeps with their futuristic sci-fi axe, bisecting these strange reptiles as they keep lunging at the kitsune. What would the two thieves like to do?
I'm just gonna attack.
Trying to draw his short sword and the dagger +1 because he has 2 weapon fights.
Bear in mind, you will have to put the torch down to do this. However, that will not unlight the torch, and between the torch and Gil's tattoos, you'll still be able to see, just noting it for reference. So as you put the torch down and unsheath your short sword and magical dagger, and Zephyr, you ready some attacks of your own? Who of you would you like to go first?
All right, I'll just go.
All right. So Caleb, you see one swarm over Neon's head, closest to you, and one.
Keep one thing in mind when 2 have been fighting. I don't add my modifier to the second attack.
Yeah. However, if you're going to use your dagger for that attack, you can still add the +1.
Yeah, so it would be 1d4 +1.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what would be more damage. Having the 1d4 +4 and then a 1d6 +1, or 1d6 +3 and 1d4 +1.
Depends on what weapon you.
Well, actually, no. The short sword would be +0. Basically, I'm trying to decide which one would be better to have as the
which one would be more efficient. Bear in mind, actually, I think the reason it's saying +0 is because it's a melee weapon, so it defaults to strength. But bear in mind, it's a finesse weapon, so you can actually use dexterity for it instead of strength. So technically,
No, you don't add anything to the second attack.
Okay, I see.
Let's see. It says when you take the attack action, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon you're holding in the other hand. You don't add your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus.
Okay.
Unless that modifier is negative.
All right. Here, you go ahead and decide on that. Zephyr, what would you like to do?
I mean, I'm just going to attack.
All right. Zephyr is going to attack.
He's been having this, parasol thing, and he wants to bring it. He's gonna have his whisper, and I guess bring out the dagger from the stick out.
Easily done.
And he's gonna use it as just essentially almost like a fencing weapon. Just
awesome. All right, make an attack roll for Whisper. You all seen Zephyr with this new parasol since your missions in Edict. However, you have not seen this as Zephyr gives it a flick and a very spooky-looking dagger unsheaths from the tip of the umbrella, and Zephyr lunges in with a fencer's grace. What was your attack roll, bud?
Pretty good. 22.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Roll for damage.
Alrighty then. And
Sneak attack.
4. Yep. Since Lucian is next to him, I think whoever that one is. Hit. Attack there. Sneak attack 4.
Okay, it actually doesn't
21.
matter. It's about the same average damage either way.
21.
All right, noted. Okay. All right.
Just a quick math, and the average damage is the same no matter which one I go with.
All right. And Zephyr, do you want to flavor your attack, or shall I?
I mean, he's simply just going to just essentially, like, I guess as you mentioned, just with the as much as grace as a bandit may have, or just kind of just stab at him, just he can, just go away.
All right. Lucian, you see in a relatively surprising display of teamwork as the compies start nipping and snapping at your shadowy spectral creatures, Zephyr takes advantage of the distraction to start lunging, thrusting, and stabbing, taking down like swaths of the reptiles. Caleb, what would you like to do?
Caleb's going to move to attack the ones next to Neon.
All right, Neon, you see Caleb
because he has
rush
an
past
ally
you.
next to them, he will get
Sneak
sneak
attack.
attack.
So
let me roll to hit with the short sword.
Yep.
14.
That is a hit.
All right, so now I roll 1d6 plus 3. So now let me do
Well,
my
it would only make a
sneak
difference if
attack.
you crit, so.
Let me do my sneak attack roll.
Yep.
And so then I'm going to add that 16 damage with the short sword.
All right, nice.
And then he'll attack with the dagger plus 1.
Yep.
Unless did the short sword kill him?
No.
Okay.
There's too many of them to kill him.
16.
To hit, that's a hit. Roll for damage.
And then this is just going to be a d4 plus 1. So I'll have to do it. Okay, that's going to be 4 damage extra.
All right.
So that'll wind up being a total of 20 damage dealt that turn.
Yep. All right.
Damage.
Neon, you see Caleb drop the torch and run past you, unsheathing his magical dagger and Tavadrin's short sword as he lunges into the fray, becoming a wild twister of stabbing and thrusts as compies are getting pierced by the dagger and dying with squeaking gasps and being bisected and sliced as Caleb just starts massacring the swarm. The swarm is still standing but looks a lot weaker.
And
their numbers are being thinned.
I just kind of look wide-eyed, just like, oh, okay then.
And what were you saying, Zephyr?
Well, also their speed is also even more decreased, right?
Oh yeah, because of your stalker ability. So
they basically can't move at this point.
All right, so Kara, you're about to be up, but before you're up, it is some of the swarm's turn.
Which one?
Okay. All right. The creatures kind of snapping at the spectral illusions. They do have to make a wisdom save, which I will make. They fail. So, Lucian, go ahead and roll damage with Spirit Guardians. They failed to save.
16.
How much, sorry?
15.
Sorry, I just keep hearing something teen.
16.
16. Thank you. All right, 16 damage to the swarm up top. Let me note that. Thank you. I wanted to pick something that was tense, but not like crazy tense, since you guys are like thinning the herds relatively well. All right, but as they snap and bite at the spectral illusions, they kind of tilt their head and seem to understand to some degree that these are not the immediate concern, nor are they viable prey, as their bites do nothing. So they turn their attention to you, Zephyr, and immediately begin to just like pile into you, like just running, sprinting at you from all angles, intent on getting as many bites on you as possible.
Do they have multi-attack because there's multiple of them?
Some swarms do, but in this case, no. Zephyr, AC?
Well, with the Whisper, 20.
All right. They miss. Again, do you want a flavor, or shall I?
I'll leave it to you, or whatever.
As they all start charging you, Lucian, you see Zephyr make an admittedly impressive display of reflexes as he basically opens up Whisper. As he like has one compy impaled, he sees the swarm starting to approach him, quickly retracts the blade, opens the umbrella with a flourish, and just starts swirling around, using it as a barrier between him and the compies as they like bite and lunge and claw at the umbrella, but not able to even put a scratch on the fabric. And as he holds it over his head, basically like sandwiching a bunch of compies on it, he gives it a twirl as they all go flying and splatter against the cave walls.
Damage to them?
No, but it gives him higher AC, and I'm just being creative with the flavoring because it's a swarm of creatures that you guys can kill as many as you like. That is the end of that swarm's turn. It's now time for the swarm attacking Gil's turn, who also have to make a save. They'll take the same amount of damage as they fail the save, so they'll also take 16. Just a second.
Was a little tough.
Okay, Gil, as you still like, kind of still taking in what's happening, still have one of them in your hand as it like is biting into your palm and fingers, and similar to Zephyr, they all start to just approach you from all angles and just swarm and climb up your legs, intent on biting. That is a hit. Seeing if nope. Yeah, it was. All right.
Also, apparently the rogue sneak attack does double from crits, by the way.
Yeah, because it's just a straight dice roll.
So basically, rogue crits could be, like, devastating.
Yeah. Especially later on to get...
Yeah, that's basically the point of the assassin. And also, Gil, because you are not raging, you will not have the usual halved damage. You take 20 piercing damage as the swarm just starts taking chunks and bites out of you. You can feel like one of your fingers actually start to like recoil and twitch as if the compy you're holding is trying to bite it off. And you can feel like bits of your stomach, leg. You even swear you feel one taking chunks out of your ass as they just swarm your legs and lower torso.
Yeah, particularly.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice ass. What do you expect?
However, that is the end of their turn. Next up is now Caro with Gil on deck.
Okay.
How do you describe a swarm as bloodied?
Basically just that, like, there's less than half of them remaining. Which, fun fact, for swarm creatures actually does affect them gameplay-wise, unlike other creatures. In the case of swarms, they will often do less damage with their attacks if there's less than half of them left.
Is the one that me and Neon have lost half yet?
Yeah, I usually allow it to know when it's bloody. Yes, they appear to have lost about a little over half the swarm.
Did a lot of damage.
Yeah. But yeah, so Caro, with, as we discussed, Garo as well, what would you like to do? And just Gil will be ready with your turn after Caro and Garo
go. Which swarm's closest?
So to your left is the stairs. The closest one is the one that Lucian and Zephyr are engaged with. Garo is already within swiping distance of it, and you're like literally like 10 feet away from it. The one attacking Gil alone is about 20 or so feet away from you across the cavern, and you don't have a shot on the one Neon and Caleb are fighting. The cave-in is blocking you. So you can shoot the closer one, which is Garrow is already in melee range of, fighting Zephyr and Lucian, or shoot the ones attacking Gil.
Garrow?
Garrow is next to Lucian.
He's down near them. I want to cast Hail of Thorns on the ones attacking Gil.
Alright, Hail of Thorns I believe is part of an attack, so you'll still take a shot at them. And you can add your poison if you wish.
Yes.
I was right there on that file.
Where did I put my...
Yeah. So it's a bonus action to use Hail of Thorns. It's the next time you hit a creature with a ranged attack before the spell ends, which you have a minute. If you hit them, it'll also do additional damage. So yeah.
20 to hit.
That is natural or dirty?
Natural.
Not fucking yeah. That's obviously it. All right, roll. Yeah, roll for damage. And are you gonna apply your poison to this?
Yes.
What's the DC?
Oh, you want to see? I gotta see one second.
I think they succeed, but I figured I'd check.
DC 12.
Yeah, they do succeed against your poison, unfortunately.
Get them next time.
You have to make a dex saving throw, right?
But yeah, first of all, apply your crit damage.
Yes. Gotta find the thing.
It doesn't do extra damage.
What, Hail of Thorns with the crit?
Well, it says it doesn't do extra damage, like, Hail of Thorns doesn't do extra damage in general. Well, it kind of do, like...
Yeah. They make a dex save, and if they fail it, they would just take damage regardless. Even if they fail, they take half. Or even if they succeed, they take half. I mean,
I'm just wondering.
I did check. It doesn't apply to crits because it's a separate thing. Yeah, I checked.
I figured it would, but I was actually thinking it would because, like, I think Smite also counts as the crit with Smite. I mean, I don't know about crit rules. I know there's like a lot of different crit rules, like the whole.
I'm gonna since this one they're making a separate deck because with Smite you literally just add damage, which makes it pretty similar to Sneak Attack. But with Hail of Thorns you're using your bonus action to deal additional damage from your attack. So Caro, with your crit, how much damage did you do?
How do we roll crits here? Is it like double damage?
You roll the dice, double whatever you rolled, and then add any extra shit.
Okay.
Wait, so you double the flat roll, then add modifier?
Yeah.
I always thought you doubled roll and modifier together.
Yeah, no, you just I mean, everyone rules it differently, but I personally rule it as you double the dice.
Well, I've been doing crits with you wrong, Matthew, the entire time.
I mean, it's not that big. It's literally at most like a 6 damage difference either way. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, for future reference, it's you roll the dice, double what you rolled, and then add any extraneous stuff.
So just to be completely clear, is it adding my regular attack onto it, or is it just the Hail of Thorns attack?
No, it's your regular attack, and because you hit them with it, they will then roll a dex save and see how much damage they take from Hail of Thorns. So go ahead and roll your regular attack just to see how it does, and then if they're still alive, they will roll for Hail of Thorns.
D&D
I just want to be clear about
do a
that.
crit roll.
What? What did you say?
Does D&D Beyond have a way to do a crit roll?
I don't think so. But
Yeah, I don't think like guaranteed. You basically just have to keep rolling until you got it.
You're very like sounds like you're kind of far. It was like it's hard to hear you.
All right, while you're rolling damage, Kara, I'll go ahead and see if they succeed the dex save for Hail of Thorns. All right, I got the roll ready, so once you have your damage, we'll see how they do.
Okay. The first hit, 2 for 20.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a crit.
Hail of Thorns would hit them for 6 damage.
And what's your spell save DC?
I'll say DC 13 on dexterity.
All right, they do succeed the save, so they take 3 from Hail of Thorns rather than 6, but still damage. Do you want to flavor Hail of Thorns any special way, or?
No, it's just a hail of tiny arrows coming at their faces.
Sure. So Gil, as you're like wrestling and fighting off the swarm, probably in more pain in one instance than you've been on most of this adventure, at least from one individual like stint of combat. As you turn, you see Caro aiming their crossbow at you, basically, and kind of flinch as she pulls the trigger. But as the bolt sails towards you, it splinters into a bunch of smaller bolts and starts to shoot compies off of you. The swarm is still standing, but barely.
Bang! So now they're not going to be hitting you for 20 damage next time.
And Kara, you should still have 1 additional attack.
Oh, yeah.
But you cannot use Hail of Thorns twice, unfortunately.
No, I can.
Ranger OP.
Do you want to shoot the same? Yeah, it said no one ever, by the way.
Yeah.
What is Ranger considered shit?
Very. That's like a meme.
Yeah.
It's
This is
a
revised
meme that
Ranger, which
Rangers
is the one.
suck.
Pretty much, it's
Because
a huge thing that you can play a fighter and be a better ranger, or play a lot of classes and be a better ranger.
Yeah, almost any class can do what Rangers can do better.
Yeah.
But Rangers are
revised Ranger, which is like
a little better, but
one,
still not
yeah.
like crazy good. But regardless, I mean, Caro's clearly doing pretty well for themselves. So Caro, what's the next roll to hit?
Sorry.
I'm the first
Dice.
person to say Ranger OP. I do like to be first at things.
And one more time, Caro.
18.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
Pew pew.
And they fail the save against your poison. So are they poisoned, or do they take additional damage?
They take additional damage.
All right, so roll for that and include it with your attack, because they failed to save this time.
Ooh.
I think the poison probably would have critted. Because it's an addition.
Yeah,
an additional damage dice.
Well,
right?
no, because they had to roll a separate save for that, so no, it wouldn't have counted.
Okay, so if they have to roll a save, it doesn't count.
Yeah, because it's basically a separate attack, whereas like Smite, you literally just say, okay, while I'm attacking, I am also smiting, so if it's a critical attack, that's why Smite is considered so good, is because it's one of the few spells that can crit. Well, discounting like spell attacks, but that's
What
like...
does Smite add?
Like several D8s. It's a meme with paladins that you have to roll like a shit ton of D8s because of that. Anyways, sorry, Kara, we keep getting distracted during your turn.
Paladin basically gets to have better sneak attack.
I mean,
Well, no,
they
because
have
theirs
spell.
consumes spell slots. Yours doesn't.
We do it for free.
I guess that's true.
Kara, how much damage? And include your poison.
My base damage was 11, and
Ours
then
is free.
my poison damage is like 4.
All right. That actually kills that swarm. Do you want to flavor the kill in any particular way, or?
Toothpick arrows.
Toothpick arrows weaken them, and then the poison finish them off.
All right.
There's a whole bunch of them in a line.
So, Kara, as you take another shot, this one doesn't split, but you actually manage to nail 3 of them in one go. And Gil, you feel them suddenly start jumping off of you. And the ones who still have arrows sticking out of them kind of like slowly sway in place, kind of waving around confused before slumping over dead. And the remaining ones scatter into the rocks to hide. Scattering away to lick their wounds and mourn their dead. As Gil, you're just in a pile of dead lizards.
Who once your friend dead.
Yeah, the one in your hand also just like bites your thumb one final time and lands on the ground and skitters into the rocks. Garo, that is the end of your attacks, but Garo can still go. Garo's already in melee range of the swarm attacking Zephyr and Lucian.
Okay.
Ranger with animal friend, OP.
Bear in mind, I'm homebrewing it to make this class viable. This class sucks in the base game.
Yeah, I would have to take my entire action to have.
Yeah, basically, Carol cannot shoot and command Garrow normally. I'm ruling it that she can because I want this class to be playable.
Dumb roll. Why?
No, yeah, this is why people hate Rangers.
Well, yeah, it's because they're not really useful. I can have him give advantage to someone though, so I will have him bestow advantage upon Lucian.
All right. Lucian, if you make an attack roll on your next turn, you will have advantage as Garrow is going to be assisting you.
So I'm right here.
Do you want to have the move to flanking to flavor it, Qua?
Yeah.
All right. Garrow runs up the stairs, startling a few of the compies into running as they're already getting kind of spooked by the startling losses they're taking, and moves to flank on the opposite side of Lucian, ready to provide advantage. All right, that's the end of your turn. Gil, you're up. Neon, you'll go after the last swarm, assuming Gil doesn't kill it.
Okay. Now that I'm in severe pain and the swarm's scattered, so I'm now going to rage from the pain, and I'm going to move right there, and I'm going to activate my gauntlets.
All right.
I'm going to swipe at this swarm.
All right. Go for it. You will have advantage as you are flanking with Zephyr, the one attacking Zephyr and Lucian.
Boy's about to die. They're hurt badly. Taking like...
Yeah, they've already taken heavy casualties.
Taking like almost 40 damage, something like that.
Alright, so Gil, roll to hit with your plasma gauntlets.
So with these, would it be like an unarmed strike and then add...
it says
the modifier?
It says in the description it's finesse, so you can use strength or dex, and you are considered proficient. So strength or dex, your choice, and your proficiency.
24 to hit on the first strike.
That's a hit. Do you want to go ahead and roll the second, or roll damage on this one first?
I roll damage to see if they survive.
All right. Go ahead. So it's 3d6 lightning.
$13.
Still kicking.
You add your
then I will.
Bonus.
Yeah, did you add your rage bonus?
Oh, hang on.
You're +2 to melee damage.
Then and that would be another 2, so it'd be 15 total.
That actually does kill them.
There you go.
So, do you want to flavor this kill, bud?
So, as I go over there, my gauntlet is just gonna swipe through them, and you're just gonna see electricity crackle in between the little lizards as it just zaps them all.
All right. The few remaining that aren't burnt to a crisp by being coursed with plasma immediately scatter, some running up the stairs, some retreating further into the cavern and joining their comrades hiding in the rocks. One swarm remains. You can hear Neon and Caleb engaged with it at the bottom of the room. You've used, let me see how much movement you've used already.
15.
Yeah, 15 feet of movement.
That should give me just enough to get here.
15, 35, 40. Yeah, just enough. So as you finish, Zephyr.
Use my remaining strike.
All right, go ahead and roll, and you will not have advantage on this one, but you may still strike nonetheless.
14.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
$15 again.
All right. Noted. They're still kicking. Zephyr, as you see Gil run in, you hold a few of them to distract them for Gil as Gil sweeps through them with his plasma, killing a bunch of them and scattering the rest before Gil immediately, like sounding a bit winded from both the pain but like his rage just adrenalining him through it, sprints the opposite way in seconds. And Neon and Caleb, your scrap with the compies is interrupted by Gil crashing into the swarm with another wave of plasma. The swarm is still going, but their numbers are very noticeably thinning and the remainder seem to be panicking. I'm almost certain that's the end of your turn, Gil, because I know you've used your action and bonus action. So it is now, speaking of which, that swarm's turn.
Baby, first, please.
Let's see if Spirit...
Leave the battlefield.
And technically, it depends on the DM at that point, and they do fail their save, so they'll take 16, and that actually kills them. Lucian, even though it's technically an after effect of the spell, how do you want to do this?
Seeing that, I will kind of like gesture to have all of my little shadow minions go over to them and just be like, feed. And then just have them just like munch and gnaw and constrict, because like there's snakes, there's spiders, there's scorpions, and just have them like attack.
You all watch as Lucian's shadow creatures swarm the swarm. The creatures in a pitched battle with the shadow beast before realizing they don't stand a chance of victory. They begin to climb back up the rocks, back under and inside the truck, running past you, Neon, back to hide with their comrades under the rocks as shadow creatures eat those who were not fast enough to escape. And with a final the remaining compies hide under the rocks, shelter in the truck, or up the rock slide, or run further up the stairs, or back the way you guys came, scattering into the depths of this place, and leaving you all alone with the broken, sparking robot and lightly bubbling river. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. So
man, that hurt.
Fire. Are you looking back?
So, you guys have separated from Berry Road for the time being, having gone even deeper into the Underdark, and found yourselves in what you now suspect to be a Dark Elf Church of Arachne. Following what appears to be the path that the previous caravans have taken, you traveled further in, up, past bottomless pits, tripodal spiders, broken statues, and signs of rock slides, to find a half-broken edict robot that Neon seems intent on fixing. This effort was interrupted briefly by a swarm of bipedal lizards, unlike anything you've seen before, that acted cute to lure you into a sense of security before attacking in swarms, heavily injuring your barbarian, but leaving the rest of you relatively none the worse for wear. And as the cavern quiets and the remaining compies flee with their final chitters, that is where we're going to end it. I totally didn't forget to have the outro pulled up. Don't mind me. Totally didn't forget. I am the best boy. The best boy. Be sure to check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Check out our link that'll be posted in chat and in just momentarily to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly, and support our episodes posted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/killer55 with a PH. Get it right. And thus, another session draws to a close on this arc of Dragons.
Are these the dragons you spoke of? The lizards?
Thanks all of you so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye.